Oh no! What are we to do, everybody? There's three of us here, like a kind of Brady bunch. I can never look the right way. Hi, Mike. Hi, Duncan.
Hi.
How are you? We've got special guest Mike Geary tonight. That actor Mike Geary to go with the actor Duncan Casey and human man Richard Jackson. Currently converting.
Acting. The Lambda.
So I just, I can't. I just feel outclassed by this because you're just saying RADA and RSC and acting things, all of the acting things. We're here to watch Escape from New York. We didn't really announce this. I think we were too busy. This comes from a selection of things that were put forward on Patreon. So thank you, patrons. We made good on that promise. Duncan had you all throw names in. He curated some, and you voted for Escape from Nueva Yorko, which is Spanish for Escape from New York. So, John Carpenter, I'm surprised I haven't done this one before. Mike's joining us as special guest. It's quite exciting. Mike was in our film Touch You Bleed with Duncan, the two leads of our movie.
Hello, everyone.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Lovely to see you guys. I miss you.
We miss you too.
We miss you, man. We miss you.
We had a good time. We had a quick time. And then we had a slow time.
Referring, of course, to the two Apple codecs, QuickTime and Slow Time.
That's
right. It's a videography joke for you. I just thought you'd like that.
Something about the ARM chip.
Precisely. Thank you. That's that lived-in knowledge from spending all those.
Quad core.
Again, fine to join in. Oh, there's an echo.
Oh.
Is it me?
Hold on a minute. We have an issue. Mike, could you speak?
I can speak, yes.
Duncan, could you speak?
That I can, yes. At the sound of the klaxon.
That's eliminated the echo because we had Source in twice. I'm going to have to just go into the stream and try not to have a kind of horrible aneurysm. Talk among yourselves, but not in a way that might echo. So not at all. Be silent. Silence! No, don't, please. Oh, it's better now. Everyone's saying it speaks. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the feedback in the chat. So I get on that. I put in two sources because it's not often we have two people on. I think last time we did that was when Brad and Mark come and talked about The Burbs with me. And I didn't fuck it up that time. I fucked it up this time instead.
Sometimes I do it with a bacon sandwich. Brown and red. That's a sauce joke. You're welcome. And yes, I am a savage for mixing.
I mean, that was my immediate visceral reaction. One or the other, but not both.
I thought that caused a time paradox, but I could.
Time cop rules. There's time cop rules.
Time cop rules.
Yeah, that does.
Time cop rules.
It does cause.
Time cop rules.
Time cop rules. Is there a comma?
Time cop comma.
No, money down. Yeah. Philip Casey, father of Duncan Casey's in the chat.
Hey, Dad.
Hello, Mr. Casey.
Mike's here to say hello. Mike, are you allowed to talk about what you're doing at the moment? Because I think people might be interested, but are you allowed to talk about it?
Which one?
Well, there's one very exciting one which I won't mention, but that had my wife slipping off her chair.
There is. Wow.
But that's all I'll say about
that. Wow. Yeah, it's
because it's hot. It's hot here.
It's
the Mike Geary charity calendar we talk about, of course.
Before I bust it open, I just want to say a big thanks to James Little. I did get my hands on the beer you very kindly sent, and I'm gonna open one now. I hope it wasn't brewed with your own hair. But
brewed with your own hair.
But no, it's marvelous, and we're very, very grateful. Have you finished all of yours?
No, I shared them with Ivan, James, just so you know, because he's a fan. So we've been drinking them slowly. Yeah, they're very nice. I think I had the one on the stream the other day, and there's just a nice selection. We got sent, Mike, a selection of. I'm gonna lean into the artifice of the stream by looking left. We were given a big box of beers by James Liddell, who sent them to us, which is very kind of him.
That's lovely. I'm drinking water. Cheers, James.
But are you though? Because you've got it in a shrouded bottle, like a sort of 70s tramp.
Yeah, that's me. That's It's my oeuvre.
It's my oeuvre.
Peeing in pools and drinking cream.
Yes.
That's that's something we should probably address because we were talking about that before.
We were talking about the 1970s, Mike, is something that Duncan and I talk about a lot, and pints of cream is kind of a minor Val Verde meme because we talk about people drinking pints of cream and having steak for breakfast and smoking cigarettes. And Mike said his experience of the 1970s was people would stand around swimming pools and just openly piss in them from the land. Just because that was
all this stemmed from was there was a picture of Harrison Ford standing around in speedo. Well, I'm going to explain what a dirty shitter is again, aren't I? Which is it's self-explanatory. Everyone sort of goes, "Tell me, what is a dirty shitter?" It's like
it's a cornerstone of this channel, is what a dirty shitter is.
Wait, I'll Google it. Hang on.
I don't think we have enough cultural traction for that to be a Google result.
Talking of which, Mark Price just got in touch. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark's here. Is he coming in the chat, Mark? Come in the chat.
So tell me about your dirty shitter.
I mean, it just basically describes...
As a Jaws fan as well, remember the Jaws link, of course.
What was
Roy Scheider, I thought, was your...
It's that sort of tanned... nicotine-ridden, poor diet, makes a mess. I don't. It was a thing that I felt as a kid that you could identify someone's. I'm digging a hole, but basically,
them, though, there's a point. What is it? By looking at someone, you could tell that they were a dirty shitter, i.e., they had the foulest shit because they had the worst lifestyle, and by extrapolation, that's basically everyone who lived in the 70s. That was the.
I think using the word extrapolation, does it make it sound any more scientific by also saying the words dirty shitter? All right, Commander Tater.
All right, you're on our fucking channel now, Geary. All right, this is my house.
Yes.
But then again, I can't really be too angry because you did call me Commander Data, which I take as a compliment. So,
it was a very fine droid.
He's a pleasure model. Yes, may he rest in peace. Exactly.
Spoilers.
Spoilers again. He's dead again. He's dead twice.
He's dead again.
I feel it incumbent upon myself to read quickly the paid pal donations.
Yes.
There are three. Andrew Capit's his usual £10, and but assured us recently that it wasn't a mistake. He hadn't let some sort of standing order.
Andrew gives us £10 every week, Mike, on PayPal.
He's incredible.
Oh, how lovely!
Yes.
As does my father,
who
sent us £10 as well.
Aww.
Said hi, guys. Annalise Moskland sent us £5.
And Annalise gives money almost every week as well.
This evening, guys, nothing to report to our esteemed leaders tonight, but looking forward to the stream. Hope you are well. So thank you. Thank you, one and all.
Okay.
Yes,
so just to bring that back around, Mike, you're allowed to talk about the live thing you're doing at the moment, because that...
Yes. I am currently appearing in Doctor Who Time Fracture, which is an immersive theatrical experience in central London. I'm off for the night, but there is, it's 15, 16 different worlds you go through, and you travel through time, and you meet some familiar faces.
Yeah,
darlings.
Spoilers.
I have been described in an official publication as a poor man's David Tennant. So if you need...
Wait, what? Whoa. Who and when?
What? Oh, some mean shit in something talking about me and Erica said I look like a poor man's
Well,
David
that person
Tennant.
can just eat a fistful of turds. A fistful.
No, you look like a poor man's... there's so many, I can't really say. But you look like a poor man. That's all right. I'm a cut price Richard Dreyfuss, so that's all right. You got that.
Yeah.
Or as a lot of people say to me, "Oh, you look like Jumanji."
Jumanji. Well, yeah, John Jumanji, the star of the film Jumanji. Whereas I look like Patrick Stewart as reflected in a dented kettle. What a trio we make.
Wow.
We've had a super chat, first super chat of the night from Mark Flanagan. giving us $5 or USD, as they call them in America. Would your dirty shitter definition include your parents? Duncan should answer carefully. I'll go in first, Duncan, to pave over the cracks of the fact that your dad is here. My dad, 100% a dirty shitter. A, I lived with him for 20 years, so I can vouch directly. Secondly, he just seemed to live off Ginster's pies and fry-ups. That was his entire diet. Like, 'cause I think he got his vegetable quotient from the fried tomato he ate every day. And it's probably a beef tomato and just a sausage that was designed by weighing an entire pig and reproducing the pig's weight in sausage form, washed down probably with gravy and lard, because he was one of those people who worked on a building site.
I'm so excited. I want to eat that sausage now.
You would have to carve it like a dad with a big carving knife.
Oh,
that would be pretty amazing.
I love that.
That'd be quite good, wouldn't it?
It would be, yeah.
I'll pitch in here. Having worked in a lot of theatre, I've seen some terrible, shitty toilets in my time. Nerves. A lot of nerves.
Right.
It's called a physical warm-up. But I was once in a theatre where it wasn't a dirty shitter, but the person was a giant shitter. It was extraordinary. It disappeared round the U-bend with no hint of tapering off. It was... I can only... It looked like...
Carried it to full term.
Full term, yeah. I went into a fourth trimester. I'm not even sure you can have one of those. But it looked like King Kong was in the sewer poking his finger up.
Like a Stretch Armstrong's pet otter.
I'm pretty sure I saw a tooth and an eyeball in there as well. So
I'm glad that Mike's here to class things up and keep us on the straight and narrow. You've keyed into the brand, Mike, perfectly.
As Ed Harris said in The Rock, I'm catching up. I think he said warming up. I can't remember. Something with up. Was Ed Harris in Up?
Was Ed Harrison up? No.
Was Ed Harrison up? Yeah, he was, but in a cameo as one of the balloons.
Have you ever seen the outtakes of The Rock, by the way?
Yeah, I have,
it's one of my favourite things in the world. It's just Ed Harris getting very angry and everyone looking at the floor.
The best bit about it, though, is Sean Connery running into the prop lift and the door's not closing and him going, "Close, you cunt!"
I should have washed my Shakespeare.
Yes. Are you going to San Francisco? I'm only borrowing your Humvee.
It's funny because you're doing it as like 90-year-old Sean.
Yes, that's my favourite.
It is the best Sean Connery. It's the best.
Old... Go fuck yourself.
The slime of humanity.
I'm just gonna say some. Just acknowledge some of the people that are in. Mark came in under the moniker Nowhere Fast Productions. The same cunt that comes past on his broken motorbike just went past my house again. This is every fucking week. They start doing laps, motherfucker. John, I quite liked. John Smith says, "I feel uncomfortable just sitting on a warm seat after my father just left." Peter Danielson warns, everybody knows that going after your father in the bathroom is a risky business, which is the topic of the Tom Cruise film Risky Business. I haven't seen it, it's probably that. So we've got, of course, Andrew K, TM2YC. I'll tell you what, I'll just bring the list. I'll do my list thing. We'll get back to it. Annalise is here. Benny Legend, Captain Meets Adventures, Dan Lars, Fremantle 85, James Atkinson, John Smith, Lewis Taylor, Mark. Oh, Lewis Taylor. Hey, Lewis. Mark Fullingham, Mark Guyside, Mr. HEC 381991, Peter Danielson, Phil Rob 1978, Ross Sanders, Ryan Ricardo, Sam Duxbury, Steve Allen, the Ghost of John Wick, Spiegel, and TM2YC. That's everyone who's piping up right now. Chris Thompson just popped in as I said that, as did Ross Sanders. See Rob Myers in the chat. Oi, oi. Type Your Bleed crew, Rob today. Rob's one of our Type Your Bleeders, as is Dan, actually. Of our post-production. So anyway, yeah, we're talking about poos and stuff. That was the
hooray.
Sorry, Annalise. Whenever Michael and I go to Japan, all the toilet seats are warmed and it's deeply unsettling. We got Daniel Hawkins popped in as well. Callum Chung, Simon Aston's here. Simon Aston, how you doing, man? James Atkinson, Carl Goddard's here. Hey, see, Carl's always quiet at first. He doesn't get called out on the list, but he gets there in the end. Hardcore, I imagine. Private Watch Party Monday, by the way. Everybody on Patreon on a $5 tier, private watch party on Monday. So anyway, just a bit of Val Verde admin there. We could go back to the jobby talk if you like. Jobby. Poos! I mean, does Snake Pliskin have a toilet in his little glider that he flies into the Twin Towers? Who's to say?
I'm going to go out on a limb here and I'm going to say Snake Pliskin doesn't have a bum hole. He's too cool to poo.
Does the snake tattoo go all the way down under his undercarriage and then to where his bumhole would be?
To his perfectly smooth undercarriage, he's too cool to stool.
Too cool to yes, very good. Well, you know what the dirty shitter suggests in the world of binaries and analogs. Dirty shitter suggests that its opposite exists, which would of course be a clean shitter who very infrequently does a perfectly smooth, shiny brown pellet that's odorless.
Yes. I like it.
Yeah. John Smith, and this is a hashtag fan theory. John Smith says, I'm not sure I want to read this. John Smith says the eye patch hides the bumhole. Snake Pliskin's secret is that he shits out of his face.
I mean, that would be such a cool finishing move.
Can you imagine? He lifts his eye patch to reveal a crowning jobby.
That'll be. He just shits in his enemy's face. It'd be great. You could get that into the next Mortal Kombat celebrity fighters. You know, they've got
RoboCop and Joker and all that.
RoboCop, yeah. Finish him. Fatality.
Fecality.
Yeah, I made that up in my brain.
Okay, no, well, that's the top draw. I mean, we have to be careful. We do come up with such top quality OC that we worry that people steal it from us, such as fecality. Someone might steal that from you, Mike. You know.
They can have it. I don't want it. I literally don't want it. Everything that comes out of my brain and mouth, I don't want ever again.
The bastard child of Geary's brain, the fecality.
It's a horrible place. Also, I just got a lovely picture from Mark Price where we're talking about, cut price Richard Dreyfuss. He just sent me a picture of saying never forget this, and it was a picture of Gwildor from Masters of the Universe. Right. Thanks, Mark.
What was it you said? So when we were filming, because we had you in your kind of third act costume, we shan't spoil the film, and I think you described yourself as like a murder gnome or something.
I'm a murder gnome, and that's don't wake up the murder gnome. He'll come and get you.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hell. Well, shall we get ready to put the film on? Shall we do that?
What film?
I'm afraid, Mike, we have to watch a film. Yeah, I know, it's the format. There's nothing we can do at this late stage.
But we're going to remain perfectly silent while we watch it.
Yeah, of course. Right? It's like Gogglebox, but we don't ruin it. We just,
Brilliant.
And we don't die. Satire. Sorry, I just mocked the death of a real human being. I didn't know that. Colin McLean gave $25. Jeez, thank you, Colin.
Thank you.
I'm Duncan. You have to read that because it requires voice work that I just can't do.
Colin McLean says, "Hooper, full throttle." Sorry, the talk of Jaws got me thinking of Duncan's Quint impression, but nothing to report here. A little something to keep the lights on. Can't stick around tonight, though. Got family commitments.
Oh, thank you, Colin.
Oh, thank you, Colin. Cage go in the water. Sorry, Geary. You kicked to my leg, I'll kick to your leg.
Drinking his hand and everything. Right. Well then, let's get ready to pull our triggers, shall we? Our respective triggers.
Let's do it.
Why don't we have the guest? Why don't we have our guest count in? That would be novel.
Oh, what from? How many numbers?
Duncan, why don't you tell him? Why don't you tell him the consistent number
Richard
that comes
likes to come up with sort of arbitrarily large numbers that take forever to get. So whatever you think is reasonable, but not like 12, like Richard likes to do. So a nice round 3 or 5. 5 is
You just handed him 2 options. You just told him what to say.
Hey, I can think for myself.
Mike, do at least 23.
I'm going to go
28.
Or
prime numbers only.
I'm going to do. Okay, 5. Is that a prime number? Sure. Here we go.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's starting.
Okay. Oh, mine is buffering. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Okay, we're gonna back on your markers. Back on your markers. We got a buffer for Casey.
Oh, we've got to go back in our markers again.
Yeah.
Hang on, it's buffer. What the fuck? Come on, stupid thing.
Well,
Right.
now we've got this time. I'm just gonna do a bit of quick.
That is a highly shiny book, Mike. It's a deeply.
Well, thank you very much. Now I'm fully versed in all things John Carpenter.
Fucking prop work and everything. Jesus Christ, I'm just not ready for it.
Oh yeah.
Fuck me.
Are we ready again?
I'm ready again.
Yes.
All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
There we go.
Going.
Gannon.
Yeah, how was that?
Ours starts with a Studio Anal logo, Mike.
Studio
Anal.
Excellent.
So we might be a little bit out of sync.
That's all right. I've got the Avco Assembly Pictures thing up now. It's John Carpenter's. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm not going to read it.
Yeah, if you.
I'm not VOing this. You can't afford it, mate.
No.
You know what I mean? God, blimey. Not do that, right?
Are you mad?
Oh, dear. Oh, no.
Oh, go down the Elephant Castle, turn around and say, hi. I don't know. I'll just say another thing.
Apparently, Kurt Russell was Carpenter's choice, but the studios, people wanted to go with, I think it was like Tommy Lee Jones as one of the choices.
Oh, I've heard that, yeah. Because they did, you know, he was in Black Moon Rising, which was the John Carpenter adjacent movie, wasn't it? About the fast car with Linda Hamilton. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, like Tommy Lee Jones, I think could have done it, but it just wouldn't be right, would it? You got to have the Carpenter Russell team.
You've got to. Yeah, he's fabulous.
I know when they were first talking about remaking this with your man who, like is it Len Wiseman? I think Len Wiseman was supposed to be remaking this, and they were talking about having old Jerry Butler as a Snake, which is just like, really.
Well, they've made that film a million times, though, haven't they? With sort of all the, you know, whatever. Fucking, it's always Jared Butler, isn't it? Get the president out of the thing. Put the president back in the thing. Get the fucking whatever and put it over there.
Destroyed the thing. Get
I'm
a new thing.
He is American, and he's playing lots of scientists now because he's getting a bit older.
Right.
Who he either plays scientists or structural engineers.
Yes. Oh, so you watched the Meteor one as well then?
Yeah, Greenland.
I like that though. That's really good. I really enjoyed Greenland actually.
For all the people in Greenland going, I don't.
We're not in this. This is bullshit. This is bullshit.
It's they've got a sequel on the cards.
Oh, really? For Greenland?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if they're going to call it Blue Land.
Right. That'd be the logical. The three colours Greenland trilogy.
Well, where are they going to go next? Iceland, I guess. It's not that far.
That's true. Yeah. I heard that he has to take his family to Brigadoon when another missile comes. Missile, meteorite, whatever. That's a really good.
It's God's
missile.
It's one of
kind of essential, actually, isn't it? Really. Whatever. Missile, meteorite, exploding elephant. Who cares?
Now that 1988, I've got on my the crime rate in the United States rises.
Freeze there. Oh no, we're
400%.
We're like a second behind. It's fine. It's fine.
And now I've caught up.
There you go. Perfect.
I love that font. I can't remember what it's called
because they use it for like the guest and other stuff like that. Modern things have glommed onto the Carpenter font. I like how this is a completely insane premise. I mean, it's a great take on this point in time when New York was really kind of riddled with crime. It was like, well, what if they just let that get off? What if they just let that get up and try and build a wall around it, which is completely inconceivable. But that's why it's great because it's got that kind of satiric element of just being such an insane idea. And then also, I think Escape from LA is great, and I'll fight anybody who disagrees, which is a lot of people, sadly. So,
Peter Fonda,
Bruce Campbell, Snake. Peter Fonda as a fucking Bruce Campbell as a fucking evil plastic surgeon. It's genius. He is, and he's fabulous in it. Yeah, I do remember watching it at the cinema, going surfing. Wow. Okay. There's some surfing. It doesn't look amazing, does it? That sequence, the surfing stuff. I mean, it's fine. It's 1997 now. The future.
Everything took place in 1997, didn't
It's
it?
a Demolition Man, I think, as well, and
Demolition Man Judgment Day is 1997. This
people are pointing out.
That's 3.
Jamie Lee Curtis did the voiceover at the beginning here.
On the radio,
I think because isn't Adrienne Barbeau the computer in the thing?
She is. I think Jamie Lee Curtis pops up in a radio thing or on a radio in this as well.
So double the voice.
And of course, Adrienne Barbeau played a radio DJ in The Fog.
DJ.
Stevie Waynes, who played a lot of Coupe de Villes for some reason.
So that reference just went over our heads. So
John Carpenter's band.
Oh, of course.
And also, fog fact: they used a lot of jazz for their radio station because it was cheaper to use jazz than rock and roll.
Yeah, that's why. That is why you hear so much. There's a lot of jazz in a lot of things because it's very easy to license because there's so much of it. So it turns up a lot. This is great Dean Cundying. Everything's so fucking blue, and I love it. It's either black or blue, and those are your choices. You can have either of those colours.
Yeah, and look at that good old-fashioned late 70s, early 80s lens flare.
Oh yes, yeah.
Love
I can't remember. Is it like I think it's Panavision lenses or something on this. I can't remember, but you've got your full-on kind of scope look in this, and there's some insanely wide angles in this. Like there's tons and tons of like lens distortion and barreling and stuff. Oh, hello, Richard. Are you single? Yes, yeah. Yes, I am.
That's right. I say that to my wife all the time.
I sleep in a big bed with my wife.
I feel like they used lenses that could open up down to an f-stop of 1.8 to give it a good gritty, dirty blue light look to it.
Really, is it? You reckon that's probably that sounds like a pretty informed opinion.
That's your best guess, was it? Like?
just dropped something. Yeah.
You better come back up with 2 pipes, mate, because you've set a precedent now. One in either side of your mouth. I'm twice as clever.
Yeah, that's right. If you want to ask me any questions about the set design later, maybe I'll think of something.
Remember something? There's good old Tom. There he is. And his tash.
Tom.
Him and his tash.
Dr. Stop it!
I just like it in Lethal Weapon when he gets shot along with some eggnog, which for some reason I think is the funniest thing. Halloween 3 as well, which is massively underrated. I think it's a really fucking great movie. But there you go.
It's fabulous.
I can't remember the budget of this was, but like it was fucking like it. Look how expensive it looks. I don't know how much it actually costs. But
well, they did have free run of Liberty Island for a while they were filming it, and that can't be cheap.
Well, that's what you think, isn't it? It's like, how the fuck did they pull that off? And I think a lot of the stuff in this, James Cameron did matte paintings on this, and he did the very famous. It's cheaper to build a New York and paint it with luminescent tape than it is to make a computer wild model in 1981 or whatever thing of doing that. So he worked on that as well, I believe.
It's amazing.
So there's all those kind of set extensions and stuff. It's such a fucking nuts, because I was thinking earlier, kind of like, can you imagine if you were the guy going like, oh yeah, I'm going to do one about London, and it's just like London walled off, because they pulled a blinder off with 28 Days Later. 21 years ago, you could film empty streets at 6 a.m. around Westminster and stuff, and you can't anymore because there's just too many people. And that's only the opening of the movie. It's not like the premise of the film. Admittedly, a lot of this takes place indoors, rather than kind of running around lobbing grenades in Times Square, particularly.
Some excellent stair work there.
Good stair work. Follow the orange line.
He's got nice boots too. I like his boots. I like his boots in this, and I also like his boots in Big Trouble in Little China.
That's quite, it's quite flamboyant boot work by Russell.
Good. He's known for it. Yeah. Beryl Reid was also known for choosing the right shoes. Right.
Yes, indeed.
And I think they trained together.
See, there's someone, I think Carl was just talking about, like there's a deleted opening scene of the heist going wrong, and it's kind of set it all up. And it's a cool scene, but this is an hour 35 without it, and I think this is sort of needs to be tight. It's a good, tight Carpenter premise done efficiently. I think he's very efficient with his stories, and I think if something needs to come out, it's Lee Van Cleef getting out of a limo. That's what needs to come out. Lee Van Cleef, dirty shitter. I mean, probably
with a name like
Lee Van Cleef and Tom Atkins. Look at them. They both.
Tom Atkins. They cut dirty everything.
They cut all the kind of gut rumbles out of that scene. Just.
Was that you? No, it wasn't me.
Lee Van Cleef.
Lee Van Cleef actually had a cloaca and changed his name from Van Cleef when came to America from the Netherlands when he was 40, where everyone has a cloaca. That's my IMDb trivia. Oh, the scene in the radar room was improvised. All the radar operators just made radars when Lee Van Cleef walked in. Sorry, Mike. We don't like IMDb trivia. We take the piss out of it.
I like the chain smoking in the future as well. This is good stuff.
Yes. Yeah. That's it.
And he's
chain smoking and not having any kind of mobile communication devices whatsoever.
But they do have black jumpsuits. So
yes.
Well, yes, there is that.
That's true. I like. There's a bit because I've been realising all the things that I've subconsciously stolen for our film, which includes this. So you've got the text on the screen there right now, but that's just a general computer thing. The one thing I think it's when Snake's in his plane. Snake in a plane.
Yeah,
he's got that green light on his face and the red light in the background, and it's exactly like our ending scene. So I sent Mike that still of you earlier on today, and it's like, oh yeah, I totally jacked that lighting exactly from Escape from New York. And I suppose like every giallo ever is the other thing.
That plane looks great.
I'm totally out of sync with you two, I think.
We know it's been hard.
We didn't want to bring it up. Oh, but Duncan, I wasn't talking about what was on screen. By the way, I was just talking generally in generalities.
You just know this film like the back of your
cloaca.
I know it like the back of my eye patch.
I think we had super chat. Mark Flanagan sent $5 dues. He says Carpenter has worked well with different budgets, but this one and some later films can be distractingly cheap. Is this the director's charm? He says.
I think there is something to that with Carpenter. It's kind of like watching Italian movies. I think that sometimes it's part of the charm. I think that because I think what it shows to me is in a way eyes bigger than your stomach in a good way. It's like the imagination's perhaps bigger than the budget, and I really like that. I mean, because I love his egg, the president's egg. Get in your egg.
The Wing Kong exchange is £5. Funnily, you should mention that. It says Donald Pleasance getting into the red egg reminds me of Mark and Mindy. I'm assuming he means Mork and Mindy. Mark and Mindy.
I think Mark and Mindy was an alternative film.
It was
in the 70s.
Set in the West End. Well, no, the East End of London, wasn't it?
Mark and Mindy. It's quite edgy.
Ken Loach's Mark and Mindy.
Racy, mate.
Fucking Nanu, mate. What's she talking about?
Have a banana.
I'll tell you what, she comes from another fucking planet. I'll tell you that. I came home the other day. She said to me, "Can you stop leaving such massive turds in the fucking toilet?" I said, "You having a fucking laugh, love? Now give me a pint of cream."
Put it in a soda stream. You know I like my cream fizzy.
And I'm going to drink it with my finger.
Mort call him fucking awesome.
It was basically an East End remake of
it's
Mork
like
and
Death
Mindy.
Do Us Part and that American one. I forget the name of. It's like that. Archie Bunker is a racist. It's called. I can't remember what it's called.
Excellent.
That's the joke.
That's the joke. So I'm kind of like getting kind of fringe references. I feel like I'm a bit. I just did a week of working on a live broadcast project, and that's why I'm just using my webcam and not my fancy camera, because I cannot be fucked to look at a fucking Blackmagic camera again this week after fucking 6 days of it. 2 of them all day, every day. I was just like, no, I'm going for the. I put my coloured lights on, but I'm quite fried.
It's very nice.
I'm quite fried.
Very nice.
I'm fried. All in the family, says Micah Brooks. Hello, Micah Brooks, by the way. Aston says, my space egg goes through bone like butter.
Red space egg. I'm done.
From the flats in Bow. Hey, look.
They shouldn't be doing that.
This stuff looks fucking incredible when they're kind of.
It does look
amazing. I mean, I will say about this actually, in full candidacy, I do like it. I think it's an amazing movie, but these days I I don't find it terribly interesting to watch anymore for some reason. I don't know what it is. Something about it kind of crawls for me a little bit these days. When I was younger, it's kind of like, fuck, it's all of New York, and now I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Whereas I'm more likely to sit and kind of roll along with the second one.
I
don't. This is not a film that I've watched a lot. Really, I've only sat through it once, and I do have it on Blu-ray. But it's a film you have to be in a certain mood for, and especially like when you're a dad with a kid and a wife and everything, it's not something that they can sit through. So it's like it's when I have the stamina to stay up of a Friday night, that it's that kind of film.
Right.
You know, that you
this is your alone time movie.
Yeah, it's man cave movie basically, and I kind of so for that I really, because I did do that. I don't know when it was, in the last year anyway. I sat down and watched it, and I really liked it. I had a really great time. But I know what you mean. I don't think it's the kind of film that I want to to abuse in that way. I think it's the kind of thing you kind of want to use sparingly, sip sparingly,
enjoy it responsibly.
Indeed,
I think people are kind of concurring in the chat, saying, "Yeah, you got to be in the right mood for it" and stuff like that.
Like Blade Runner, I think you've got.
That's
really
exactly what somebody said in the chat there. There you go. Yeah, I think we've reached this kind of sort of Val Verde summit there.
This guy's fantastic.
Oh, he's great, isn't he? Such a great looking face.
I kept thinking it was Steve Buscemi for a while.
Yeah, well, but then don't worry.
It looks like
you wait long enough, you'll get him in the sequel.
He looks like Goku on heroin.
Yes. Yeah, Junkie Goku. I love it.
Junkie Goku doesn't look well,
but he would look good on top of a pencil. You know what I mean? He's got that kind of
great.
Make an excellent pencil topper.
He looks like one of those little trolls he used to have, but it's all gone wrong for him.
Exactly. Yeah, you know.
I got a finger. What do you think of that? You fucking mook, you motherfucker.
I guess that's what I imagine him sound.
That's what he sounds like, probably.
You know how I got like this? Nuclear fucking fallout, you piece of shit. Now get me the fucking
Aiden
money.
says he's the blonde gang member from Precinct 13.
Excellent.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. All right.
Thank you very much.
What, starring Matthew
Yes, I don't know. Really great. I'm just doing free association at the moment. I don't know what's going on.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
I'm in a bookcase.
Are those two talking to each other on the phone?
It's fugazi. It doesn't exist.
This stuff looks so fucking good.
It's great depth of field, man. It's so like this is so my abiding memory of this thing when I first watched it, and I think it was with you, Dad, actually, was just
I'm not your dad,
because
I'm
we
your
watched
friend.
it
on. Sorry.
Was watching it like on Verse, on a 4x3 television, late at night, and it's just like pretty indecipherable because it's so black. It's so dark.
I remember watching 4x3 because fucking a third of the image is missing, and on tape it was so inky, just so black, so black.
Yeah, but it's a really beautiful film, and it's a really great. Like it's like Blade Runner, but not in the sense of it's not the sort of suet pudding that is, but it's sort of. It's
care for Blade Runner, Duncan. I'm very good at reading people, and I think I sense something about you says you don't like Blade Runner.
It's a discussion that comes up.
This is the thing. I never used to like Blade Runner. It used to infuriate me. I bought it and ages ago, thinking, right, I'm going to sit down and watch what everyone's talking about. Didn't get it for years, and then finally, I think I listened to a podcast where someone was talking and unpacked it all, and I went, and then sat down and watched it again with that in mind, and was like, no, I really like this. I do actually genuinely really like the film now, and I've kind of warmed to it and really come around on it. But again, it has to be sparing. I have to be in that mood. But there is that moment where I sit down. It's like usually once a year I go, I really want a Guinness. And I drink Guinness, but I don't generally drink it. And it's the same thing with that. It's like I suddenly have to be in the mood, and then I'll watch it.
Now that'll give you a dirty black shit if you take too much Guinness.
Yes, but inky.
Mike, you said that sort of
VHS.
You said that sort of like a Victorian physician. If you take too much Guinness,
Oh yes, you mustn't take the Guinness.
An
too
imbalance
much.
in the humours caused by an overtaking of the Guinness.
I think you find that makes you phlegmatic, not sanguine.
Ah, acute sanguineous phlegmatism.
That's right.
I think we should have Mike do a kind of Victorian Dr. Agony on.
I'm not dressing up for you again. Not like that.
You do what I say when I pay you, man. Okay,
Fair
I'll get
enough.
onto Bill. I'll get some more budget. I mean, he's got shurikens and shit, hasn't he? Like they give him. I was gonna like that scene, the scene where he meets with Lee Van Cleef.
Can I just say something, right? All of these guns and shurikens and flying a plane are pretty shitty for a guy with no depth perception.
I mean,
Are they giving him all this stuff just to make him look?
I wonder
stupid?
if they're sort of patronising him by putting a scope on that Magnum for him.
I mean,
It's
yeah.
like, okay, you can have one eye down there, mate.
It's so harsh.
Sam Montgomery
As you
just
know.
dropped a super chat. If I may. When it comes to not getting Blade Runner on the first watch, guys, you're not alone. We did it for film studies. Most of my class didn't get it. £5 from Sam. Something that comes up a lot, Mike. My old film teacher Toby has been on the channel, and he taught me Blade. Is one of the many film teachers who taught me Blade Runner, and I had to have that chat with him. It's kind of like Blade Runner really fucks me off, and a big part of that is I've been forced to watch it in class over and over and over again.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's too much familiarity breeding contempt and all that.
Yeah.
I think when you're told as well that this is going to set your gooch on fire,
Memories of drama school.
It's just I had that with Gladiator for the longest time because I remember when it came out, it won Oscars. Everyone said, "Oh yeah, it's fucking amazing," and then I think I finally saw it a few months later or something. It was like this, all right. And then obviously I've come back to it later in life, and without that weight of expectation on it, I thought it was really great. But you kind of have to. Sometimes you have to separate a film, I think, from its time. I mean, John Carpenter's, I think, one of the biggest examples of a filmmaker out of his time, right? Like, all of his stuff always does better, in hindsight. Right.
It's still today. Obviously, The Thing is an extraordinary movie, but I've got a great fondness for The Fog, as I mentioned earlier. I love that film because of the mood it sets, but also things like Prince of Darkness. I think is made on such a small budget. For me, I love that film. It's such an odd film, and there's quite an interesting varying range of abilities in that film, but that's okay.
It's very janky, isn't it? It's a very janky, cheap movie, and I think that's a huge part of its charm, and it makes it feel like a kind of European horror movie. And I think the premise is very much like that as well.
Oh, it's such high concept, low budget, comparatively to his earlier films. But I think it's great. When you compare it to something like Big Trouble in Little China, which I think was that his most expensive
I
film?
think it was up to that point, and then I think Invisible Man was more afterwards.
Ooh. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I forgot about
the one
that
that isn't called John Carpenter's Memoirs of Invisible Man. It's just called Memoirs of Invisible Man.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which I've made. I'm not going to go into bat for it. I remember liking it when I was a kid because Chevy Chase was in it. And it's something that went on television very quickly, I think, because it didn't do very well. But I'm really interested to watch it again because there are so many films of John Carpenter's that other people don't like that became big hits, and Invisible Man seems to be the one that he really doesn't like. And it was him kind of because I think that was via Universal, and I think it was his flirtation with directing, basically not being the auteur. And he did not have a good time. And Chevy Chase, by reputation, can be not fun to work with, is what I'd say diplomatically. No. Not that I'm in any danger of working with Chevy Chase. People say he's a fucking cunt, is what I'm trying to say.
I'd say that Chevy and you are now done professionally.
That's it. I know, right? Ugh.
Like Christian Bale and his cinematography.
Oh, I love him.
He's so cuddly.
Yeah.
the guy that Christian Bale was screaming at is Shane Hurlbut, and he has a channel. He's a very flamboyant camp dude who likes his loud shirts, and he has a brilliant cinematography channel called Hurlbut Academy, which is tied to a website where he sells courses, and it's full of. I'm not getting kickbacks. It's a really lovely thing. He does little 1 or 2 minute cinematography tips on Saturdays. They just pop up, take a minute to watch, and you just be like, oh, you don't have this kind of cloth, just get a shower curtain, works just as well. Oh, why don't you use greaseproof paper? It's a very good channel. So I'm going to go into bat for the man that Christian Bale fucking screamed. Once you watch Hellboy Academy and you realise what Christian Bale was screaming at, and it's like this quite sweet seeming sort of slightly camp dude, it's like, wow, he really unleashed on this geezer. It's just
because you never really hear the other side of that. All you hear is he goes like, "Do you got anything to say to this prick?" And it's just like, to the guy behind him,
like, "You're a nice guy," or whatever it is.
You're a nice guy, man. Don't fucking around in the bank. Give me a fucking answer. The guy's just like.
It's an extraordinary moment in cinema history. There he is, throws a cigarette out of his plane, crashes his plane.
Here's
no
our
depth perception.
touchy bleed lighting in his little plane.
There it is.
Well, or the Escape from New York lighting, what I ripped off.
So far behind. He's just getting in.
Oh no, that's kind of what he was doing on mine as well. He's just.
I'm going to pause it. Hang on.
Oh, you're so kind.
And then I'm
going to move ahead. Fuck him.
Wow.
Chaos. I
pause a little bit. So yeah, we were saying earlier.
I'm putting the thing on then. Fuck
I'm
you guys.
going to watch something else. I'm going to wear an eye patch so I can only see half the film. That's how that works, isn't it?
That's how it works.
I only watched half of it. The left half.
I will have to take it off if I want to go to the toilet.
I watched the left half.
Snake Pliskin stooped over a toilet with his eye patch open. Wiping his eye.
He carries a handkerchief.
Presumably, from time to time, he would fart out the eye, and it would blow up like Marilyn Monroe's skirt.
I think we just saw a James Cameron lovely matte painting.
Yes. Also, if
thinking about him farting out of his eye hole, so we missed that.
This is a physical model of New York painted black with fluorescent tape on it and a black light on it. If you don't know, because it was cheaper at the time than having a 3D model of New York made. And James Cameron worked on this model, and it's really, really amazing. But also, so's the image of a man farting out of his eye bum.
There you go.
That's it.
Here he goes. Land it on.
That looks kind of cheap, but it looks so much better. And I love the film, but the fucking CGI submarine stuff in Escape from LA is ropey. It's so ropey. Like, it looks not good. But it doesn't matter.
It was in New Frontier, wasn't it? They
Yes.
were just chucking it in. It was everywhere they could and trying it out.
Yeah, exactly. They were trying stuff out. I love how brazen Escape from LA is as well, because it's kind of like, I went in by a plane. Yeah, well, this time he's going in by a fucking submarine. New York, LA, whatever. What are you going to do about it? It's great. Also,
that's probably what the pitch meeting was. Exactly that. New York, LA. What are you going to do about it? What?
I'm John fucking Carpenter. What are you going to do about it? Oh!
Oi.
This, of course, being the sequel to Escape from York, which has a natural Roman wall around it, and that's how Snake Plissken got an eye bump.
Didn't take much, you know.
I'm gonna just say one thing. I don't think it's a natural Roman
Yes,
wall.
it grew. They planted wall seeds and it grew. They brought them from Rome.
See.
Yeah,
Those Romans, eh?
they were clever. They're
up there for thinking, down there for dancing, mate. In the middle for diddle.
Hey! The lift still works. The lift that was on top of the World Trade Center that just went all the way down.
Well, it's a good thing that works.
Because it's a bit of a shitter, isn't it? If it's sort of like, oh, we're going to land you on the World Trade Center, but you have to take the stairs. So, yeah, no, okay.
We're going to land you on the Chrysler Building. But there's no flat. We're going to land you on the Chrysler Building. And you're going to like it, Snake.
Snake.
Right?
You have to slide down it.
Now get in the spruce caboose.
It's just a model.
Get in. Except that's Lee Van Cleef and Kurt Russell.
Lee Van Cleef would be a perfect.
He is
Burns.
quite Mr. Burnsy, isn't he?
He really is. Yeah.
Quite really, if you sort of take the tash off of Tom Atkins and put some glasses on him, you've got a bit of a rugged Smithers to go with Lee Van Cleef.
I mean, or if you just shaved the tash and shaved his head, he might do a home run.
Right? Yes. Yeah. He's got that kind of slightly bulbous, like.
Yeah. And this, I love that Tom Atkins was a sex symbol or a leading man.
You.
I'm saying this question well. Sure.
He is to me. He's a sexy motherfucker.
But I mean, within 5 minutes of arriving in the fog, he's in bed with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
Which feels very creepy and weird.
He's just that good at laying pipe, Mike. That's what he calls it. He calls it laying pipe.
Is that? I thought that's pooping. I didn't know that. I've got some apologies to make to a lot of people.
That's cable.
Do you want to lay pipe? Sure. And then I poop all over the bed. That's wrong.
Out of your eye.
Out of my eye. Look, I got two. I got cloaca or eye. What do you want?
I mean, it's like a sort of shit version of Le Chiffre. Like he just weeps poo from his eye.
That's Le Chiffre. What does he do? He weeps poo. No one really talks to him.
Da, 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 da.
You might say he shot out his eye.
Da, 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 da.
With the single on top.
Oh, God bless it.
A view to a shit.
A poo to a kill, surely.
A poo to a kill. So there's
golden eye, surely.
Right, yeah, of course, yeah. That's what the inside of the eye patch looks like. So Snake Pliskin has had a bit of a life. There was supposed to be a third one called Escape from Earth, where Snake discovers he's a clone, and it sounded mental. And I think when LA didn't pan out, they didn't do it. But like Snake's had a bit of an extra life in comics and stuff. He's such a comic book character. It's great. It's total broad stroke stuff, and I think that's awesome. I've not read any of them. I think Carpenter was involved in some, and they did like an Old Man Snake comic, and they did an Old Man Jack Burton comic recently as well for the Big Trouble fans. Which I'd go in for a bit of that. That sounds cool. I mean, it's such a great premise.
He cornered the market in stoic, monosyllabic hero. He's just great. You can watch him all day long.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. People tend to forget. Particularly, perhaps people of like, certain end of the age demographic, let's say, because he was Zac Efron, Kurt Russell. He was very much the Disney poster child for people also seem to forget about the weird 70s Disney kids movies, which seemed to be all about what if a chimp was president, or what if a chimp,
the computer wore tennis shoes.
Yeah, hell to the chip, exactly. They're all kind of about monkeys or computers, but he was that, and
computer
monkeys. That's what our film's about.
And
it's quite subversive casting of him by Carpenter and the things he put him in.
I'm sort of taking mental notes now because I've sort of been cast in something very similar to this.
I'll tell you my note for that role, Duncan. Wear 2 eye patches.
Yes, double down.
Double down. Isn't that Izzard sketch of 2 eye patches? Hello.
Also, I don't know. Whoever's writing that, tell him.
Pirates. One parrot looking pretty cool. 2 parrots. You've gone round the corner looking like a dickhead.
Your film, you should cast an actor called Ernest Borg 10 as well, because that's one more. It's one more.
If it's low budget, it's got to be Ernest Borg 8, surely.
That's it. We're just listing things, but
we are. We're just saying numbers.
Column.
James Little, purveyor of beer and other
Cheers,
such wonderful things, sends £4.99 and says, "Hey guys, love Mike. He's a fantastic and loving the banter.
James.
I'm assuming James speaks like this. Would Mike see a similar vibe? Hang on. Would Mike see a similar vibe movie?
Oh no."
To the front.
Masterpiece.
Hey, Alfred, could you see a similar vibe movie to The Fog being made? I can see James Wan directing it.
Master Bruce, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just gonna cry for a bit because everyone seems to like that.
Yes, I like it, Alfred.
Master Bruce, please let me get dressed. Just once. I'd like to wear trousers. And then I can leave if you let me. I'm a house elf. Alfred wants to leave.
Get in the cave, Alfred.
Oh, Master Bruce, no, not the cave.
So,
Get the bad part
James was asking Mike,
out.
could you see a film similar to The Fog being made? He could see James Wan directing it. And can you see Alfred wearing trousers? Was the other.
I mean, I would. I mean, there was that remake of The Fog that we won't talk about, which was horrendous.
Oh, I forgot that existed. I completely forgot.
With bloody, bloody Smallville was in it, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Very good actor, but not given a good script, and they don't get it. We put fog in it, but we'll make the fog move around like it's not fog. I know that's what Carpenter did, but it was computer fog, and there was none of the storytelling was in it. Cog, yes,
Cog.
But there was no storytelling in it, and that's the problem. It was all about atmosphere with the fog. We're not here to talk about the fog. Sorry.
Well, it's Carpenter tangential though. I mean, it's all fine.
And I've got an idea for another watch party. Bet you can't guess.
The Mist.
Yes!
I knew it.
A light family comedy.
Look, it's Buck Flower, the Hollywood's Tramp. Buck Flower, Tramp in this. Tramp in Back to the Future.
Price.
Tramp in They Live.
Mark Price has often said that I am his Buck Flower, and I will take that. Except, obviously, not as.
We need to put an oversized Fitbit on you, like Buck Flower. You put it on. You
got to talk like that. You got to know how to speak like Buck Flower.
He's got a great voice, hasn't he?
He's got a great. I can't do a Buck Flower. I'm sure Duncan could, but
Oh,
he's got to talk like that all the time.
Well, I remember he's the tramp. He's the tramp in Back to the Future, right? So I'm trying to think what does he say? I don't even know what he says in that.
Can't remember.
Can't remember.
He's in everything though, and he's great in They Live. Loving They Live.
He turns up in his tux at the end. It's like, well, hell,
he's looking good.
Yeah, he scrubs up nice. Buck Flower.
He does. Buck Flower.
Sorry, go on.
No, go on,
I
please.
just had a weird stabbing pain in my eye, just as I got. Oh god.
Oh, you need a poo. You saw it here first, folks.
I mean, that would be about Verde for someone pooing out their eye.
Is it a foot stamper?
Oh, he says crazy drunk driver foot stamper.
Now all I can think of is Tomorrow Never Dies and Vincent Schiavelli going, Stamper!
Crazy drunk driver.
Crazy drunk driver. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
brilliant. Yeah. Thank you, Mark Price.
Good old Mark Price.
Good. Foot Stamper's great. Also,
Pancracker. These are both great Viz Profanosaurus. Pancracker, Foot Stamper. Also, one of my favourite ever ones from Viz is a gorilla's breakfast. And the definition was a shit that smells so good you could turn around and eat it straight out of the pan. And completely unrelated, in Tesco there used to be a sort of slightly poncy organic children's cereal, and the box was just a picture of a friendly gorilla, and it was literally a gorilla's breakfast. It was.
A friend of mine sent a Profanosaurus one in about it's a great conversation, which was called the Virgin Rail. It's long, red, won't go around corners, and will make you late for work. Red.
Bob Fock, body off Baywatch, face off Crime Watch. That's... fuck's sake.
He's working so hard with this little gun.
Yeah, I like they really over-egg his outfit in the second one. Too much big long trench coat and stuff. I like this one more. He's all kind of, they overdo it. But...
And there's all Mark and Mindy.
Hello.
Oh, Mindy, where'd you part the egg?
Where'd you part?
Oh, I don't know, Mark. Where'd you fucking party?
Oh, fuck. Oh, someone said that's what I was going to say. The Ghost of John Wick Spiegel in the chat brought up the film Lockout with Guy Pearce, the Luc Besson one, and that now John Carpenter successfully sued them because it was so substantially similar to this. Now, have you guys watched Lockout? Because Lockout is fantastic. Yeah. It's a really fucking cool movie.
She's great in it. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Lenny James as well. Great. I do love Lenny James. Guy Pearce is perfect. His character's called Snow, isn't he? And he's got loads of I fucked your wife gags and shit. It's fucking brilliant. Really good.
That's a good movie, man. Snake Pliskin apparently was someone that John Carpenter knew at school.
Right. Really
he had a
hard
tattoo of a
kid.
snake and was called Pliskin. I mean, yeah, I don't think it was at the same gun.
Yeah, a gunfighter with shurikens. He lifted an egg.
A monocular eye pooping monosyllabic.
I mean, if you've seen one film about that, you've
That's
seen them
it,
all.
mate. That's it. Oh fuck! We got a super chat, Duncan. Did you want to read that one from Wing Kong?
Oh, right. From the Wing Kong Exchange. I'm gonna read it like this because I fucking feel like it. No, I'm not. Saw JC in concert. I'm assuming you mean
Jesus Christ,
James Cameron, or John Connor. And I dressed as Snake. Others were dressed as They Live Aliens, Village of the Damned Children, and one old guy dressed as JC himself.
Oh, was that JC?
It probably was.
Was the old guy on stage playing synth? Because that was probably him.
Yeah, John Carpenter never showed up, but there was this old guy who looked like
he just stood in the
That's
stage.
Fantastic! I would love to have seen one of those. Although dressing up as the children from Village of the Damned, wow.
Better have been like a bunch of like proper 6-footers as well.
That's a hell of a trip home on the tube, isn't it?
So Simeon Aston just gave £5, and he says, bit off topic, but if you had the golden ticket from Last Action Hero, which movies would you go into and what shenanigans would ensue? We've touched on this before, didn't we, when we talked about Last Action Hero? Like, what would you do? Because you could, if you were some kind of like a power-hungry lunatic, you could go and get all of the kind of reality bending. You could go get any of the film time machines, whichever suits you best. You could get any film teleporter. You could get like lightsabers. If you were some nutcase, you could really go to town and probably rule the entire world or destroy the planet. Any film with a planet-wrecking weapon, like the bombs from Beneath the Planet of the Apes, for example, stuff like that.
Oh, those guys freak me out, man. When they take their skin off and start singing, and they sing really badly. They're really
That's the worst part,
and that offends me as a Welshman. That offends me. Their faces were shit.
If they can't have the fucking pipes, then what's the point in being an underground bomb cult?
If you're going to mutate, right, you mutate some good fucking vocal folds. Sorry, I should do that in Welsh. If you're going to mutate, right, you're going to mutate some fucking good vocal folds.
Vocal folds.
Mark Price has just said, you can say that... I think these days John Carpenter looks like wheelchair-bound Lo Pan.
Well, you know, because he sits around chonging weed and playing Call of Duty. He loves his video games and he loves getting high. And it's like, fair play to him. He's made a ton of money. Everyone fucking cussed out his movies when they got released. He sits around fucking making music, getting stoned and playing video games. Fair fucking play to him.
It's that thing, you kind of people work really hard to get where he is so that they can then do the things that they're already doing before they work hard to get where he is. Because everyone's who's out of work, lots of actors I know, were literally doing that all day.
Right. Sounds like being a filmmaker as well. It's quite similar.
Weird.
A question for Mark Flanagan, $5. Rich, as a film studies grad, can you talk about Carpenter's motifs? The Hawks influenced the loner turned into a team. Lured into a team, heavy male braggadocio. Those are big ones. One of the first ever essay I wrote, long form essay, was on John Carpenter's motifs, actually, when I was 18 or whatever. So it was almost certainly shit. And I remember, something that comes up a lot, all the things you've listed, the Hawks thing in particular, things are kind of borderline remakes of Hawks movies. The dark cinematography was definitely one, and this film was a very good version of that. Of course, the music, because he wrote a lot of his own music. There's definitely a feel to it. I think there's a kind of X factor to a Carpenter film that comes from all of those elements kind of hanging together. Because if you look at like Starman, the tone of that is so different from anything else he did. And all of his stuff's kind of somewhat funny, but like Big Trouble is straight up howlingly funny. Like, it's a really funny movie. So I think you've hit upon quite a lot of them yourself there, Mark, really. I think another thing is kind of bringing in genre actors as well. So Borgnine or Lee Van Cleef, stuff like that, from stuff that come, before. So that is my answer. I hope it is sufficient.
That was really interesting. Thank you.
That's quite all right. No worries.
One of my favourite pieces of writing is in movies is in Big Trouble in Little China. everything's kicking off. They're running around underground. They get split up. Bad things are happening, and Egg Chen, the wizard, the good guy wizard, is nowhere to be seen. And they're running around trying to find a way out. And then suddenly a rope ladder or a rope drops down in front of them, and they look up, and there's Egg Chen looking through like a manhole cover. And all they say is, "Egg, how did you get up there?" And his answer is, "Wasn't easy."
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's no side quest, no explanation, just wasn't easy.
Yeah, and off you get. And it doesn't
right.
matter because it's all part of that tone. It's all part of that tone,
Yep.
and it's within the rules of the world because it is this kind of that's an interesting thing, right? So to talk about specifically of that movie referencing classical films, because classical Hollywood is Carpenter's era, and quite often he's looking at westerns and sci-fi and horror, but in that one he's looking at quite a lot of that, but because the original script was set in the Old West, by the way, for that movie, but it's through the lens of a screwball comedy. You know, that kind of humor you would see in like Bringing Up Baby or whatever. It's those kind of snappy little gags that are just thrown in, and then it's kind of a screwball romance between him and Kim Cattrall as well. It's got and particularly because like Jack Burton is such a doofus, but the whole performance, he does John Wayne's voice in it.
Yes, he does.
Right?
The hell I will.
And it's all those kind of
He's
constantly thrown back to classic Hollywood, and in a way that's not. You know, I think people like to. It's way more lampshaded than it is now. I think now you have to have someone go, "That's a reference to this movie," whereas before it's perhaps a bit less so.
I don't think he underestimated the intelligence of his audience ever. Certainly not in his early films. He always knew that his audience was smart.
Yeah, and it feels like straight shooting because of that, doesn't it? It feels like he's just trying to tell his story, and if you get these things, you do, and if you don't, it doesn't matter. You know, stick around because there's a cool story going on.
And that's great storytelling. You'll catch up somewhere. We'll feed this to you. Don't worry. And I think that's really really brilliant. Yeah, I do love that movie.
It's so wonderful, isn't it? It's such and that's the thing, because that didn't start with him. And like I say, they had a script set in the Old West initially, and it developed to what it ended up being.
And originally, I think the character of Wang is Dennis Dunn. It was going to be. They wanted Jackie Chan.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, but he couldn't do it.
I think that's for the best.
Yeah, otherwise it would have weighted it way too heavily in one direction, I think.
Yeah. It's too.
Dennis Dunn was great.
He's great. He's lovely and charismatic in that, isn't he? He's a really it's a great. That's fucking Pink Panther and Kato, isn't it? Because he's the real competent hero, but he's stuck in the background behind the kind of doofus idiot Jack Burton. It's that.
Exactly. He's so great. Yeah, so great. Also, Dennis Dunn's fantastic in Prince of Darkness, another recurring Carpenter actor.
Yes, yeah, indeed. He's got his great little kind of group. That's another thing, if you want to view it as a motif, it's kind of, his group of people that he works with. I do remember in the sixth form essay I wrote, I pulled together these things, and one of them that I found was like he uses helicopters in the movies. And I put that in there, and my teacher was like, "You can't put helicopters as a trope. You just take that out." And I was like, "Okay."
Aww.
Yeah, helicopters. Mark Flanagan follows up. Close. What is JC's value to you? His view of men. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Mark. What's JC's value to me? I think it's the ability to tell a simple atmospheric story that has kind of hidden layers to it. I think that's what's appealing. I think they're very short, not short, but they're economical. They're very economical movies. They don't waste any time. They're not busy kind of having kind of lost aspirations or being pretentious, but they have a lot of layers in them. I think the kind of, I think the unreconstructed tough guy thing is kind of done in a kind of slightly, arch way. I don't think it's completely unironic. But I don't know. I hope that answered your question. I don't.
Adrian Barbeau there.
And HDS.
Fantastic. And Borgnine. I reckon Borgnine. Do you reckon he was a dirty shitter?
Oh, mate, I think if you killed him, all the other dirty shitters would die. Like, he's
the central dirty shitter.
Dirty shitter.
I see. That's it.
Queen.
He's the queen shitter.
Roy Scheider came out of one of Ernest Borgnine's eggs.
one of his shit.
I mean, who would go near one of his shit eggs? I want to know. Why would you peer into that seeping horror, bubbling away?
Someone fed Ernest Borgnine after midnight. And he took a shower once.
By accident. It rained.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they've got an oil pump in the middle.
Derrick in the middle of a fucking library.
Why didn't somebody say, "Look, we could just run a pipe and put it outside"?
No. I've always wanted one.
I want
of
it.
these.
Derrick's connected to. It's a pipe. No.
Look, Mindy, Mark has asked for it in the middle of this place.
These two are Mark and Mindy.
Under the elephant. I'll tell you. Now let's keep digging. You got that bucket of spade, Mindy, from when we went away to the seaside. Have you? Start fucking digging. I'm gonna take a shit
Again.
I wouldn't do that, Mark. Ernest has been in there.
Oh fucking hell, Ernest! Did you flush twice? Ernest. He's fucking Ernest. Yeah, I'm asking. Did you flush the fucking toilet, mate? No, I'm not smoking. I just like. Can you answer the question?
Fucking smoking there. Is there an oil derrick there? Of course I'm not going to fucking smoke. Not an idiot.
We make a Derek and Clive
Mark and Mindy via the lens of Derek and Clive, set in John Carpenter's Escape from New York. All because Donald Pleasance came out of an egg, like Roy Scheider, Ernest Borgten's child.
Because autocorrect turned into Mark.
There you go. You saw it happen live.
Why are we happening? This is like a cutscene in Event Horizon. Just needs a piece of wood and some barbed wire.
Oh, lest we forget the mighty Isaac Hayes. He turns up surprisingly late in this movie, actually, because it's kind of halfway through. God bless him.
He's got a knife. He's got a big gun.
Did we say Harry Dean Stanton?
Yeah, we did. Harry Dean Stanton, who's always looked as old as a tree.
He's just the best.
I really loved him turning up in the Avengers. Having him turn up in this little cameo in this hyper megabucks movie was so nice. As a kind of late career, he was in The Last Stand as well, the Schwarzenegger movie, which I actually have a soft spot for.
I've never seen that film.
It's good fun. That. It's very, very much in the vein of his older stuff. I'm not saying it's as good as it, but it's in the vein.
The problem I had with it was his first. It was Arnold. He was. I mean, he did. I know he took acting lessons for a long time and everything, but it feels like someone who's sort of learning on the job. You know, and that film feels like the big governor for the last and then they come in the action comedy, and it's like but you might want to warm up. I mean, do consult your coach before you get in there.
It does feel kind of weirdly like.
But I've done comedy before. You were with Danny DeVito, mate. The heavy lifting, which is ironic because that's what you're known for. That's a good play.
Acting.
Rod.
God.
Peter O'Toole.
Peter O'Toole.
The method.
Dressing
the
rooms.
X Factor.
Those lights don't look practical. They're not going to cast any light on anything, and they're nightmare in the car wash. You put that thing through the car wash, it's going to wreck those lights.
It's going to rust that cage. Going to rust it, Yeah, the look, I think you really need to get serious detail done on car chandeliers. The
thing is, right, it sort of looks like they just ripped them out of somewhere and stuck them on the thing. But in order for them to work, they'd have to have wired them up to the car battery.
Yes. Yeah, it kind of robs it of that Mad Max aesthetic when you kind of.
I just think although it is quite interesting, isn't it? Because you do see a lot. Remember these gangster films when they go around their houses and it's all chintz and little teacups and stuff. And very, very nice 3-piece suites. So maybe that's their little nods towards that. It's all like it's trying to make it a bit nice.
But wasn't that thing about like MTV Cribs? All they would do is go and rent a mansion for a day.
Yeah,
and then
right.
shoot
And that's
it.
why,
So,
because
like,
you see episodes where they go in the fridge and it's empty.
Yeah,
Shit like that.
not so sure all of you live here. And like, do you collect models of boats? Do you?
Are
I'm not
you
seeing
saying,
any pictures of Scarface anywhere in here, which is really.
Duncan?
Ja
wait,
Rule builds ships in bottles. What? It's...
Hang on. Are you saying that television lies?
What?
I mean, yeah.
Speaking as an actor, I can tell you that everything on television is completely true.
As an actor who works exclusively not in television, please can I have a job on television?
Well,
Shut up, you got a job on television.
You're going to make Duncan's wife slide off her seat, said Duncan.
Unnamed television job. It's the news. I'm the new news anchor. There, I've told it.
No, you got your willy out in Tesco and you're going to be on the news.
That's the one. I mean, I'm pleased it showed up.
Well, we're HD now, mate.
They
4K.
said, spotted this evening in Tesco, a clanger wearing an Aaron sweater. No, wait.
Spotted this evening in Tesco. Robin Williams is back to life with his dick. It seems like Robin Williams did go to Jumanji.
Mike, we do strive to capture a younger audience because, that's the future, and we try to do that with references to Ernest Borgnine and the Clangers.
Sure. We've got our fingers on the pulse.
People love a reference to the cartoons of the late, great Oliver Postgate, framed as looking like penises. The puppets.
Straight, mofo. That's what I'm here for. That's why you got me in.
That's right. It's that and Ivor the Engine.
Classically trained. Sorry. Classically trained. Sorry, I wasn't supporting for my diaphragm, which I should take out at some point.
You don't want an unwanted pregnancy. Actors.
Well, I did a big egg shit, and I don't want another one of those.
I don't want an escape pod to come out of my bum, so Donald Pleasance is in my bathroom.
I've just given birth to Reg Varney from On the Buses.
on the buses refs. Yep, that's what people want. That's what people want. Get on TikTok and do some Reg Varney refs.
Put that on your Kit Kat, whatever. Kit Kat.
I'm pretty sure. Here's a fact. Here's a fact. Reg Varney was the first person in Britain to use a cash point. Yeah. Did you know that? Because he was part of a promotional campaign by Barclays for the first ever cash point.
He was Butler from On the Buses. Oh, I hate you, Butler.
Oh, I hate you, Butler. Also, I used to work with a bus driver called Chris Butler. He was very annoyed about other people of a similar vintage saying "I hate you, Butler" to him all the time.
This is great.
It's pretty easy. People come to me often. They say like, "I like your channel. I like what you're doing. Can you make more references to defunct 70s sitcoms?" And I say, "Well, I try, but Duncan just doesn't want to know. What am I to do?"
Oh my God, you're such a Philistine.
What am I to do? I try to talk about George and Mildred. He doesn't want to know about that.
Oh. Terry and June? Terry and June
doesn't want to know. Love Thy Neighbour.
I don't think I'm as well watched as you are. That's my problem. Every time I'm like, there's something like They Live. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I know.
Is that because you've been out having a life?
I'm jealous of you though, because I know you haven't seen They Live, and I think we should watch it together one time, and I think you're going to like it. It's very, very good carpentry.
I'm sure
it's good carpentry.
I'm
quite prescient for the times, I'd say.
Yes, it is. It is.
Well, like I keep saying, Tomorrow Never Dies seems to keep coming true. What with that British frigate being attacked in, thinking it was somewhere, turned out it may not have been. What was it? It was in Ukrainian waters, and the Russians claimed it was Russian waters and fired on it. And it's just like, stop doing Tomorrow Never Dies.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
The press is in
charge.
Well,
doesn't it mean that Rupert
Murdoch's
Murdoch's going to be fed into a printing press, though? And I'm all right with that.
I do hope so.
I'm fine with that.
No, not a printing press, a sea drill.
Oh, a sea drill. But isn't there? Somebody gets fed into a printing press, then there's blood on the papers.
A goon gets thrown in.
Your sea drills are all very well.
And he says, what's the one? He goes, they'll print anything these days, and it's like, you missed it. What's black and white? Red all over.
You might say that the man's blood's on a newspaper.
Looks like he'll be on page 3.
Put your boobs away. You're not on page 3. I'm Pierce Brosnan. This is how I sound. See, I can do impressions, and people no one ever says, "Here comes Richard with his good impressions."
No, they
It's
don't.
the Sun cartoonist approach, whereby you draw a picture of a person and then you have them wear a T-shirt saying their name because you're bad at caricature. It's the
Very good idea. I'm going to do that a lot.
Look at Isaac. Isaac Hayes is so cool. Someone did. I think Phil Robb mentioned Truck Turner earlier, which is the blaxploitation film starring Isaac Hayes, and he did the music for it as well. And it's a great movie.
Truck
Turner.
Brilliant. Yeah. Was it about a guy who's parking trucks?
It's about a man who he's part truck.
He didn't even park them. He just turned.
Truck Turner. Yeah, he's the guy. Trucks are so long that you can't turn them. They have a turntable like with trains.
They have a small road.
Did you know that in America?
I had one of those once. I got arrested.
I thought
that's an on-the-road tug.
I heard it was a Tesco tug.
On the road again.
Clean up an
I just can't wait to get on the road again. And tug myself off.
On the road. Mike, have you not watched this channel? Like, the problem is you fit in a bit too well around here. That's the problem.
Are we in hell?
We say HE double hockey sticks or heck around here. We recently enjoyed.
Sorry, man.
We recently enjoyed Heck Razor.
We did.
Heckbound.
The Heckbound Heart. It's based on the book The Heckbound Heart.
Heck on Earth, I believe, was the third.
Yeah, Heck on Earth. That's right.
Not to be confused, of course, with the chicken sausages.
Available in all good supermarkets.
Chicken Italia, very good sausage, very good, very lean,
bit dry,
thin, a little bit pale and thin, but
I believe they were extruded. I think you stuff a chicken onto a pipe.
Stuff a chicken onto a pipe.
Beak and all.
Yeah, of feathers.
Yes, and then create a small vacuum around the chicken end, and I believe the result is heck on Earth.
It is heckbound.
Oh God!
Look at those fantastic shadows being cast on there. Did you see the lovely shadows?
Which you would miss, of course, in a 4x3.
Yeah.
The fact we watch so much stuff in 4x3 just blows my mind. And Carpenter stuff. Going back to I think what Mike was asking earlier, like the film noir look is very Carpenter. Like, and when he's in collaboration with Dean Cundey, as in this movie, it's a very good example of all of that kind of stuff. And the thing is, I did associate quite a lot of these movies, and not just his movies, but a lot of films of the era, like Duncan pointed out, on tape. Inky black where you can't see anything. I always associate that look with the Carpenter sound, and it wasn't always Carpenter, just quite often that kind of low synthy kind of noise, which is a mood, as the kids say.
Very pure.
Look at the shot inside there with the huge space and the door at the end. It just looks amazing.
Wait, there's another guy with an eye patch. That's really bad. He's stolen Snake's look.
But hopefully not his bum eye.
That's what he's pissed off about.
Yeah.
Wait, you have ocular ficciitis too?
Ocular ficciitis.
Oh, what?
I thought I was the only one.
You are, you freak!
I'm afraid your son has ocular ficciitis. What you can't see from the bottom of Snake's tattoo is it goes all the way down to his genitals, and the snake sat in a little beanbag.
But he can see out of where his bum hole would be.
Yes. It's one.
There's a folkloric Japanese demon that has an eye in its rectum. That's not a joke.
Only you would know that.
That's nice.
No, I'm
Japanese eye bum demon. I'm searching.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of hits.
Do it incognito, mate.
Shirimi, eyeball butt. In old times, there was a yokai found on the roads leading to Kyoto. The legend goes that late at night, a samurai walking down the street when a man in a kimono stepped in to block his path and said, "Excuse me, just for a moment of your time." The samurai readied himself for an attack and shouted back, "What do you want?" The man suddenly shed his kimono.
All I got was Ace Ventura.
And then he...
Excuse me!
The man suddenly shed his kimono and stood stark naked. He then bent over and showed his ass to the samurai, which had a single huge eye. When the eye opened, it shone with a bright light. The samurai screamed with fright and fled from the mysterious monster.
So I'm going to just say this. If I see a guy on the side of the road wearing a kimono, by the time he's taking it off and is naked and is bending over, I've gone.
I think it'd be you having a road tug, Mike.
Well,
so I was on the road to St. Ives. I met a man.
Mike, what we have.
But do you know what? Do you know when that story lost credulity for me was when you used the word.
No,
arse.
this is someone's blog. Someone's put this up in a blog.
That's hardly a proverb.
No, but this is and it's ass because it's American. But it's called a shirimi. Mike, what we have here using the marvelous technology is that I can put a JPEG on the stream for everybody to see, and this appears to be a modern interpretation of that creature. So if you look, are you looking at the stream on YouTube, Mike?
I'm not, because no one taught me how to do that. I went to drama school.
I'll send you the link.
Send me the link. Wait, I'm just going to put this. This is going to get us demonetized. So if you go, we're definitely getting. Yeah. So Mike, if you load up the stream, you.
I will. I will do that.
I mean, that's like a modern cartoony version, but
it's the guy's face who's looking at it.
Wah, 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 wah. It's just the amount of time. That's quite a big eye. Then there's no kind of that is the inspiration for Escape from New York.
Was it though?
Yeah, that's why John Carpenter said, "You know what? I think someone should escape from New York."
I want a big butt-eyed creature. I don't know what's going on here. To use WhatsApp on your computer. Oh God, you guys!
I've taken the image away now, Mike. I tell you what,
son of a white, maybe do all that work.
I'm going to send it to you on WhatsApp so you can see.
I
sent it to you on WhatsApp because I've already got WhatsApp set up on my computer. You see, Mike.
Hacker here. I'm doing great stuff there.
Are you downloading all of the megabytes?
I'm not computer literate. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing.
Hold on.
I think we have a super chat.
You do that.
Benny Legend sent us 5 UK pounds. And says, thanks again for the stream tonight, guys. Always enjoyed this film. Good for you, mate. Well, you know what? I just, this is the kind of filmmaking we talk about, because Richard and I actually we're going to be releasing it fairly soon for Patreon first, and then Gen Pop later. But we recorded some quick reviews this afternoon. One for Black Widow and one for The Tomorrow War. Yeah. But the common theme throughout both of them was this fact of sort of like that both films had sort of been made in certainly the action stuff had been made in previs before the whole, before the scripts were even written, and before anyone was cast and any of that kind of stuff. And it's like filmmaking now is so mainstream filmmaking anyway is so sort of different. It's so different, and it's like, you look at stuff like this and you just think, I don't know, can we get back to this? I think it's the kind of thing. I think it sort of goes in cycles, and I think that Mark and people like him, Brad and everyone is like, I know they love this stuff, and it's like this is the sort of thing we should be making.
I think this stuff happens. This kind of stuff occurs in the direct-to-video market and direct-to-cable, and I think there's lots of really interesting directors doing stuff like that. And I think,
but it's done. Yeah, but modern stuff like that is done with an eye on the big budget stuff. In terms of its structure and its plot and everything. It's like everything's done trying to be the big mainstream Hollywood stuff, and it's like, no, do something high concept, something.
Well, again, I do think it's there. I do think there is that kind of stuff. You find those gems in the lower budget and not even mid budget. They are among, and that's the kind of stuff that like Mark's doing and whatever, and stuff that you've been in as well. I think it is there.
But I'm in them, and I
still didn't think that. I really liked the second Purge movie. Have you seen that? Purge Anarchy. So that's the only Purge film I've seen, and I watched the Purge Anarchy, and that very much feels like this, because the first Purge, the point of the Purge is it's just a concept to have the man trapped in his house, and the second Purge is the guy. I think it's is it Frank Grillo? He has to.
It is the Sarge.
Yeah, he has to journey across. It's fucking cool. It's a really cool little one and done, and it doesn't even matter that it's a sequel to anything. And it really has the feeling of this because outside chaos reigns and they're forced to move through the city. So it feels like this or The Warriors or something. Being a sequel, I think a direct-to-video sequel to a big budget thing. Well, not a big budget thing, but a thing that made a lot of money. it is, of course, as you say, with one eye on such things. But I thought it was a really cool one and done kind of concept movie.
That's good.
So I reckon,
I want more of that. I want. I suppose the thing of it is like, does it have the scope to blow up in the same way that stuff like this did? I mean, I wonder, is the cult film or the film that's sort of discovered after the fact in the same way still a reality, because the content is coming at us so, the fact that we even call it content, it's just coming at us so thick and fast, and it's like,
content is something you find in a sandwich, isn't it?
It has a very dry, that's a very dry way to describe what people do.
It's also the thing of like, people are now writing, like, so when especially for streaming services now, I know that a lot of what goes on in the writer's room, and they structure plot around keeping people so multi-screening, so they know people are going to be like sat on their phone while they're watching stuff, so they write in like loud moments or like tense, but it has to be written into the score, or this sort of thing, to try and snap people out of looking on the phone every so often. And it's like, really,
it's pretty dreadful, isn't it?
It's awful. It's the worst thing ever. It's like, can we not get back? But I do think there's a massive appetite out there for proper filmmaking. I do think there's an appetite out there for cinema. I think when the dust settles, we're going to be. I think what it's going to take is someone like Netflix or whatever to buy cinema chains, and then need to fill them with content, and then people are going to start making movies again. But like this, not massive, Scarlett Johansson punching God in his dick or whatever, but movies, like actual movies shot cinematically. Doesn't have to be on 70 million trillion gazillion tons of money. It's just movies. I filibustered enough.
It takes pressure off me for a little
bit. So Snake Pliskin's snake looks like a question mark.
Yes. Yeah, he's the Riddler.
Yeah. Is it Jimmy Riddler? Who's the Jimmy Riddler?
He's questioning, is there anything down there?
I told you, his whole cock and balls are tattooed black as well, and it's supposed to be the snake sitting on a beanbag. It's the bottom of the tattoo. The balls are the beanbag, obviously, and the cock is his bottom of the snake.
You've put a lot of thought into this, and I admire you for it.
I've wrote a lot of fan fiction back in the day.
He's a considered chap.
Is that why you asked me to use a Sharpie on my willy and balls?
Willy and balls. So nice, isn't he?
Well, it's not a cock. It's like a penis, only smaller.
Look, Duncan Rule, Alterna Duncan, who's on the channel sometimes. We watched Rat's Night of Terror, a film that we were referencing in our movie, by the way. And there's a moment where a man's flaccid penis is visible, and he smushes it against the leg of his female co-star. And we both said in the video we did about that film, that's not a cock, that's a willy. When it's kind of flaccid and flapping in the breeze and doing something silly, it's a willy. That, to me,
it's a willy.
That's a willy, and there's nothing wrong with that.
That's good. This is good. This is good talk. I'm enjoying
it. Quite typical. Right?
Sorry.
No, go.
The wrestler in this scene, he's called Ox something. That's nominative determinism for you. Who's a wrestler, apparently, because John Carpenter likes wrestling, and he was really physical and quite rough, and apparently Kurt Russell said to the stunt coordinator, "What, any advice?" And he just went, "Yeah, good luck."
Jesus Christ!
Don't let him bum you.
I mean,
it's like, what, you mean fuck me in the eye?
Yeah.
While I watch out of my ass.
This is all good stuff.
Just momentarily.
Oh, my internet is breaking up.
Floyd Dillon brought up Upgrade as a good example of a modern one and done genre movie, and I agree very much.
Yeah, that's a good shout, man. The thing is, it didn't do well. No one recognizes it for how. I think it did not stick the landing. That's the only thing I'll say about that film. I don't think it stuck the landing. But nevertheless, I think it's a great. You're right. You are right to highlight that, and it goes on. But what I suppose I'm frustrated by is the fact that none of it seems to find
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a one and done, but watched Nobody the other day.
Oh, the Bob Odenkirk
Pricey
one.
It's great.
It's supposed to be really
enjoyed
great.
it.
Yeah, it's supposed to
Funny,
be really great.
and it's doesn't take itself too seriously. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, me and Mark watched that. It was great.
It looked to me, because it's come out so you can rent it now, or you can buy it, can't you? It's like it's like 15 quid or whatever, but it's like you'd spend that going to the cinema. It looked to me like something that seemed to be hanging its coat on one nail, but clearly wasn't. I don't know if that's right, but it seemed to be like, the idea is he's just it's a sort of Breaking Bad thing of he's just a suburban dad who has hidden, a particular set of skills, and then actually turns out. But I'm sure there must be more to it than just that.
Yeah, no.
You put it in the hands of someone like Bob Odenkirk, and he elevates it. Because the man, he's comedy.
That's so against type for him. It's so hugely against type. That's what makes that inherently interesting. If it's yet another actor does a John Wick, it's like fine, but it's Bob Odenkirk, so it's like, well, clearly this is something different. I just realised, Leigh Whannell, I don't know what it is, who directed Upgrade and the fantastic Invisible Man film. He is currently attached to Escape from New York remake. He's the latest person who's supposedly remaking this. And he's a tremendous director. I really liked Invisible Man. I thought it was fantastic.
Oh yeah, so I didn't get to see that because that was one of those things that my wife selfishly watched without me, and then
unbelievable.
I can't watch it.
You need to make her describe it to you in excruciating detail. That's her punishment. Every detail.
The thing is, she's incredibly forgetful, so it tends to mean that the amount of things we have watched things and then a week later been thumbing, like that's right, through Prime or Netflix or whatever, and she's gone, have we seen that? And it's like you've asked me 5 times. We saw it. The other bit, it's the one where this happens and that happens and that happens. And she's like, oh yeah, or no. And it's like, I swear I could put films on. So maybe I'll get.
It'll come back round and you can chuck it on. Yeah.
Yeah, I might be able to do that. Yeah, because it looked really great, and wasn't it supposed to be part of the kind of Universal Monsters thing?
It seems they're restarting from there after umpteen attempts.
Okay.
Are they really? Are they still going to flog that dead?
I think there's legs in it. They just keep fucking it up. It's like this is really a slam dunk. This is the original cinematic shared universe. It can't be that hard, and they fucked it up so much. If they are, the new Invisible Man is a very strong start. It's a fucking cool movie.
Where did they go wrong, do you think?
It's funny, isn't it? Because Monster Squad in the 80s was the big kind of revival of that in that great movie.
But to me, it looked like, and I haven't seen the film, but it seemed like spreadsheet decision making of like Tom Cruise, like the Mummy.
God.
What can we go?
Oh, the Tom Cruise Mummy.
And all the promotional stuff seemed to be about, he does his own stunts, and it's like, fucking all right. Like, it can't be the only thing you sell the movie on, So, I mean, like,
they cast everybody. They just assumed the success of this thing. They had Johnny Depp and everybody fucking in there.
But Tom Cruise needs the work.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
Come on. He's got a cult to fund.
That's true. Hey, look, he'll never become fucking Laser Lotus or whatever unless he makes 20 more films in a year.
It is a problem with Tom Cruise, who I think's great, but if you stick him in a movie, it's a Tom Cruise movie. That's that.
Yeah,
and I can't remember the last time he was in a movie that wasn't a Tom Cruise movie. Maybe Eyes Wide Shut.
Right. Well,
yeah. Right. I mean, this is the thing, though. It can't just be in film with Tom Cruise in it. It's got to be Tom Cruise throws himself off a building with no parachute. But it's got to be some kind of crazy.
Which is amazing. Stuff. I mean,
it's wonderful.
It's extraordinary.
I have nothing against the guy. I mean, he freaked me out, frankly, when I was doing Edge of Tomorrow because he stared at me across a room intently. And there's nothing quite like going to work thinking you're basically just going to be background for the day, and then having to deliver lines to Brendan Gleeson in front of Tom Cruise. That's fun. That's great. It's what we live for, isn't it? But let me warm up to it. But anyway, that's fine. I mean, I'm not complaining because it was a wonderful experience. But it's kind of he's somebody. I having observed the man at work, I think he's wonderful. It's just I think as a sort of just as a marketing point and as a general audience point of view, it's like nowadays I don't think it's possible to go to a Tom Cruise movie. Like he couldn't do The Firm again unless the firm involved him throwing himself off a dam
and being
or
on a
something.
motorbike. It's to ride a motorbike around the office. He rides a motorbike around the firm.
Exactly. I mean, like things like Edge of Tomorrow really worked for him because I think it was like, that was
great
absolutely.
And that he enters that. It's easy to forget he enters that movie as a kind of schlubby coward, and quite often the Tom Cruise character is already heroic. Like I really liked Oblivion, but he's already kind of heroic. Where he comes into Edge of Tomorrow as a schlubby coward, and he's able to. It's the same character arc from Groundhog Day, and there's nothing wrong with that. This causes him to develop.
I'm a big fan of Mission Impossible as well. Like I from pretty much Mission Impossible 3 onwards, I thought they were all excellent. But it's nothing against him, but it is just now he is a type and he is a brand, and it's like putting him in The Mummy, that's supposed to be your Universal Monsters thing, and it's like all I saw of the promotional stuff was a bit where he jumped off a building that was falling down.
It's embarrassing.
It's just like we went up in the air and did the 0G thing, and it's like. What's that? Mummy. It's The Mummy.
Who hates The Mummy, the 1999 Stephen Sommers film? Is it We do not like The Mummy.
We do. I mean, because I saw it in the cinema when it came out, and I've always been really underwhelmed by it. And I know Deep Rising is one of your favourite movies, but I was saying this to I can't really, and I've not seen Deep Rising, as I said to you earlier, Mike. I don't know a Stephen Sommers film that I like. And the Mummy's not bad, but it leaves me so cold. It's a straight 5 out of 10. Great cast, really charismatic performances and stuff, but I just don't get it. I never have done.
I've never seen it really. Like, I've seen bits of it and kind of gone, this isn't for me. But it's not. No, we jest about it, but it's just because it's one of those things. It's just not in our wheelhouse.
It's what it is. I mean, that's for sure. Jerry Goldsmith's score, I think, in that.
And it looks amazing as well. I'm not, it's not a badly made film. It's a fine looking film.
VFX wise, still a lot of it still holds up. Not all of it, but it still looks better than a lot of the stuff made in the late 90s. That's for sure.
Do like to arbitrarily still go Imhotep for no reason. So clearly it had some kind of effect on me.
Yeah, that's very good.
I feel sort of duty bound to like any Rachel Weisz film because I knew her apparently when I was
local
a kid.
Local girl. She used to live off
local
of
girl,
Charing Road, apparently.
My grandma and her mum were besties for a while or something, and I did. I used to go to their house again. Apparently,
I think my dad did lecky work at her mum's house.
There you go.
Yeah, she lived around here.
Yeah, Edith is her mum. Yeah,
I
do vaguely remember Edith, and she's a very sweet lady, like lovely lady. But yeah, so I just feel duty bound to like everything. And I think we went through a period where we just went to the cinema to see anything Rachel was in, including Sunshine, not the Danny Boyle film, but the Ralph Fiennes. Tri-generational Holocaust movie.
Oh God, I don't think I've even heard of that one.
It's actually very good. I mean, it's actually a very good film, but it's.
But maybe you should say it in the same way as say it the same way that Eric Morecambe says "Sunshine," and then it sounds
right.
Yes. But there you go. Yeah, but no, nothing. It's a joke, really. It's nothing against The Mummy, 1999. It's just not. It's something that passed us by, and I think it's one of those things. Like, I don't think we'd be able to recapture the magic.
It's an easy punchline for us. I think. I saw it in 1999 because 1999 was the year of like Austin Powers 2, Wild Wild West, The Mummy, Matrix, Star Wars Episode 1. And they're very big mixed bag of things that were successful critically and commercially, but it was quite memorable. The South Park movie as well. And I was in that phase in my life where, because I had disposable paper round income, I used to go to the movies like every Saturday. So me and my friend Lee used to see fucking everything that came out. And the Mummy is, and this is the thing, I don't particularly care for it. It's a highly beloved movie. I mean, people love The Mummy. It's a highly beloved movie. And I do see why. It just it's always kind of left me cold, really.
You don't have to think too much with it, and that's fine. And there's lots of nice shots. It's definitely a film that's had a lot of money spent on it. And the cast are very good looking.
Yes. That's a great little comic bit by John Hannah, as well.
Oh,
because they lost Rachel Weisz for the third one, didn't they? They
did. She went. I think I'm out.
She went to what?
I'm out.
Oh, I'm done. Yeah, this is. I'm all right, thanks.
Wasn't she? Is she in Black Widow?
Yes,
the
yes,
movie.
Yes,
Right.
You can watch our review. Coming soon. To Val Verde Broadcasting. I think, as Duncan mentioned earlier, we're back to some pre-recorded stuff.
Yeah.
That was one of the things where I was so for a couple of days I was stood next to Daniel Craig, and on Skyfall, and I made very vague small chit chat, and that's about it. But there was something welling up inside me. I just wanted to go, "Oh no, your mother-in-law." But how can you possibly say that? You can't do that, can you? It's just that was like, so I met Barbara Broccoli when I did that as well, because it turned out one of the extras or background guys worked for. He wasn't an actor, but he wanted to do. He worked for Virgin Airlines, and he used to take care of hospitality, and she flew Virgin because they were one of the sponsors of the movies, and he knew her very well, and so she came over and started chatting to him, and I was chatting to him, and because we'd met each other in the costume, I think, so he introduced me, and again, I have this weird connection where my grandfather sued Kevin McClory as well, who was the producer who kind of screwed the Bond franchise for a long time because of his connection to Thunderball, and then he made Never Say Never Again, but again, how you sort of blurt that out in 3 or 4 sentences to someone you've just met, you can't do that, so you just go, "Hello."
Yeah.
I like cheese. You like cheese. I like cheese. So yeah, there you go. I mean, that's just one of those things.
It is hard.
Yeah, I met Nina Gold once at a party. That was hard. Yeah, but I was introduced as an actor, which was like, oh no. So it's just like, yeah. So she was so sweet though. She's a lovely person, but it was just like a bit awkward. I'd already auditioned for her for a Jack the Giant Slayer, and then well, I won't say what she said about Bryan Singer, but
I think we can fill in the blanks, much like Bryan Singer.
No, don't. And that was no, she didn't say that. She didn't say that at all. And no, but it was lovely. She was lovely, but again, it's that thing when it just. I think, well, Mike, you can probably attest to this, but when you're suddenly thrown in front of someone who you think can make or break your career, I mean, I don't think that's actually true.
It's that thing, isn't it, where you think, well, this is the stuff that dreams are made of, but actually it's not, because you will come across like a proper cock.
I did.
I could do that quite easily in a casting suite. I don't need to meet them at a party to do that. I'll do that on a professional level.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. But it's that thing when you meet people like that, or you meet famous people like that, and you think, oh, we're going to get on so well. And then you meet them and go, I can't say anything to you because you're famous.
Yeah. You think they might sort of Thanos and like snap their fingers and your career's over.
Yeah, you just want to reach out and touch their face, just say you did that, and then, go down in flames.
Yeah.
Go up, go big.
Get your clanger out.
Yeah.
Get the clanger out. Maybe even the soup dragon.
And then I'll show them my soup dragon.
And then I'll say, yeah. All right. Want to see my soup dragon? Oh, Adrian Barbeau has died. That's so sad in the film.
Quite grisly as well.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I think you're quite a bit behind me, Mike.
Oh, well.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
you're a bit in front of me.
Film's nearly over. Between the three of us.
Oh, I'm sandwiched between the two of you. That's
once
lovely.
again. What a delight.
Snuggled and nice.
No, I'm Sam. I'm the filling.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm the filling. Yeah, the content.
It's
the content.
I am the content.
It's the content of a Casey sandwich.
He's a right content. Oh, yeah. Bloke came up to me. He said, "You."
He's a fucking content.
So what is this, you fucking content?
Well, they've got to sponge bath the president so he can go on TV.
So, the president, Donald Pleasance, he apparently came up with a backstory to explain his British accent.
Right, go on. Amazing.
It's got allegedly, and I don't know if this is entirely true, but he sort of came up with this whole thing where he sort of, said to John Carpenter, "I've got this idea," and he's got this idea that because Margaret Thatcher, was Prime Minister at the time, or was going to be, and there was this relationship with America, that apparently in this reality, America had gone back under British rule.
Yeah, that's why they fucking.
You're like Donald. You just started that sentence with "in this reality."
I think that would be a very, very good idea.
So I don't have to do any acting.
I'm completely bloody blind.
I have to say, one of obviously heralded and certainly iconic, but like one of the weirdest Blofelds. Like I don't understand. I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but the delivery is. I don't. Goodbye, Mr.
I love that.
Bond.
It's so weird, even at that strange staccato. Like
he is an extraordinary actor, isn't he? In every sense of the word.
Yeah,
I do.
It won't be the nicotine that kills you, Mr. Spock. It will be me killing you.
When I worked with when I was working with the Dead Mouse crew on the doc we did, they all said I looked like Dr. Loomis from Halloween, who I dressed as last Halloween for Duncan and I's stream, and then they kept telling that because we were making a documentary about horror films. They kept telling that to virtually everybody we interviewed, and I had this whole selection of people saying to me, "I shot him 6 times," over and over again. It was yeah, over and over and over again. And every time I see him, the cunts do that. So I let into it. I dressed up as Dr. Loomis for a Halloween thing last year, and it was quite sexy. And it's basically exactly the same.
Very nice. I like it.
I don't dress up enough, do I? I really don't. I think the last thing I dressed up as was the Fly.
We did it all.
Was Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah, we did a bunch of dress ups at Halloween, didn't we? It wasn't just me. Weren't you? I remember. Yeah, you did. We did the. You just did the Fly.
I know.
Okay. As it just speaks to the state of my life that I've got. Like you're like raising a human life, and I'm going through the cupboard to see if I can dress like Shaun of the Dead. Like there's a different ball Shaun of the Dead. I would. Sorry, Donald Pleasant's in this. Obviously great. I really like Cliff Robertson in the second one. He's a great because and again, as we were saying earlier, yeah, it's the president again. Whatever, it's the same. We'll get it's his daughter and stuff. But Cliff Robertson as kind of. Because he's like backwater evangelical politician that's become president, and they've it's kind of a Bible orientated states, and they've banned all this stuff and and it's cool. I really like that, and he's and you can just tell kind of what a shit he is. He's a great performance by him, and he's Uncle Ben in Spider-Man, but he's also shitbag president in Escape from LA. So president. Well, you see, in this universe, America's back under shitbag rule.
And in reality, well, depending on you.
A little message from Mark Price. Apparently, if you count the shots, Loomis shoots 7 times.
Oh. Yeah. Fuck you, Gary.
You, Mark.
Fuck you, Dead Mouse.
You son
of a bitch. They put a baby in there.
That's it. You put the egg in made, and then you put the baby in there. This is what this is fantastic. I love the dither. That's my favourite thing. Is where it's what people don't say. That's what I'm sort of. It's the Ken Bruce thing.
Well, it's a great way into a person's personality, isn't it? What a way to look at it.
It's,
I think that's what got me into Jeff Goldblum as well. Yeah. It's the same thing. It's it's all that like. It's not the what
I mean, Jeff Goldblum's amazing as well because you can just do that, and you've got a kind of a Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. That carries so much weight.
Just that hand.
Yeah. It's really. Wait a second. Yeah.
I love that.
It's like the Jack Nicholson. It was the laugh, but it's that. It's like suck back through your teeth, and then that's Jack Nicholson.
I like your Harrison Ford grumpy growl.
Yes.
Jack Nicholson. Yeah, sorry. Harrison Ford is.
That's great because you know immediately who it is, and you haven't said anything yet. It's great.
Yeah, and then you don't have to.
That's very funny.
Chewie, we're home. Yeah. Rawr.
Rawr.
You switch samples. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really do Harrison Ford. It's just that.
But that sound is him. That's lovely. I love that.
It's 6 days and 7 nights. That's if you watch 6 days and 7 nights. That is his whole performance. His drunk performance as well is brilliant. Like when he can't remember Anne Hesh, even though he flew her in that morning, because he's a pilot, and he's like, oh, he's trying to chat her up, and then he can't remember that he flew her and her fiance in for their, and it's just like, where are you? No, anyway. I love that film. People don't like it, but I think it's great.
He does great drugged acting in the opening of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom in the nightclub, where he gets poisoned by the best, I think, one of the best villains that we didn't really see in those movies. That guy is fantastic. The gangster. He's so great.
Yeah, see, Duncan and I, because we did what did we do? We did Last Crusade, didn't we? A couple of months ago, and we're not fans. We're not fans particularly of Temple of Doom. You see, which is a controversial thing.
I don't dislike it. I just sort of I just think that everything else. Well, Raiders and Last Crusade just shine so bright. It's kind of like.
I think with the Temple of Doom, it's an interesting one. The opening is as strong as opening as you can get. Yeah. Because he opens with something he's never done before, and you don't see, which is a musical number, and it's quite extraordinary. For me, it's a strong open. I know what you're saying. It's definitely out of the three. It's the third out of the three, isn't it?
Yeah, well, there are people. It's one that some people
for their own are only
five soon, gentlemen. Yeah, well, it's something that it's something that people really go into bat for. As it's like it's their favorite. It's like their favorite one.
It's fine. That's one of those things where you kind of go like, do you know what? That's perfectly legit. If that's your favorite, good on you. Like it's it's just like as a trilogy of films. If Temple of Doom is your favourite, you haven't taken anything away from me. That's fine. Yeah. You're more than welcome to it. It doesn't piss me off at all. There's no, I mean, there's a whiff of the contrarian about it. It's a bit like when people go like, well, George Lazenby was the best James Bond, wasn't he? Yeah.
Michael Caine says that all the time.
Yes, he was. That was the wrong voice, really. I should try and affect a hipsterish kind of. I don't know. I can't do tips. But it's that sort of like, no, he wasn't. I mean, no. Like I've come to really appreciate On Her Majesty's Secret Service, but it's like still not the best. But come off it. Like that's there are people.
Possibly one of the best and funkiest themes.
A great film.
An amazing thing.
That's the thing that people don't get is On Her Majesty's Secret Service is a great film. It's great filmmaking. It's really well put together. It's got all the supporting cast are fantastic. George Lazenby's not bad considering that he wasn't an actor before then. And I like what they do with him as a sort of playboy James Bond, but it's like it's still not. I mean, when you look at the whole thing, you kind of go, it's not the best, is it? I mean, it's fine, but.
Is it though?
I mean, it's you kind of go like that's fine if you genuinely think that, and that is what you think. Great, but then doesn't that imply that you've ignored 24 films, and 23 at the moment, and or I don't know. I mean, I sort of think, can that really be true? I mean, fine, but I don't. So I think people say that just because they want to like the underdog and be seen to like the underdog, and not really. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Toby is a Temple of Doom apologist. That's right, apologist.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I just don't get it. It's one of those films. Certain films remind me of being kind of like hot and bored, and there's quite a lot of like 60s musicals of things.
So hot. Oh my god.
It's I don't know. Maybe I'm just not making myself clear.
Not in a sexy way. Your nan has the fucking heating up like it's a terrarium, and you have to watch Gentlemen Prefer Blondes way on a Sunday afternoon, and it just immediately takes my brain to a place where I'm annoyed and uncomfortable. And Temple of Doom sort of does that.
No, that's fair enough.
For me, it's the whole kind of in the middle of it, the whole Tali Man stuff. I just kind of go, I zone out, you know. But it's nothing. It's nothing against the film. I think it's a good film. I don't, you know, it's fine. I just think
no one has delivered the words "we are going to die" quite as well as Harrison Ford does in that film. When he says it through that little hole in the wall where his hat's being pushed down by the spike. It's quite a sweet moment. I think I like that. He does it with great conviction, and you believe.
I mean, we can all agree not to watch the fourth one. That's the best. The best outcome.
I mean, well, that was Escape from New York. We finished.
It's done. It's over. It's no more.
It's done.
No more.
Oh, I feel sad.
No more streams. They're stopping now. We've decided. We've gone out on a high. No more. We're closing the channel down tomorrow. I've had enough. Gonna burn my Val Verde Shop.
Fair enough. I'm glad I could help.
All it took was one Mike Geary appearance, and then look what happened.
Quite right too. I am the closer.
The closer. Always be selling.
Always.
ABC.
ABA. Always be acting.
Well, shall we? Shall we go on for? We'll stay on for another sort of 10 or so minutes. Does that sound alright? And then we'll fuck off.
Yes.
No, that's a Duncan. Duncan just happened upon, and we laughed about this for far too long. Duncan happened upon an impression of a kind of truculent Jules Holland, and it's a great kind of.
So is it like a Jules Holland who won't eat his dinner? Like,
he described it as, I think Duncan said, refusing to clean his bedroom. Is that what you said?
Oh,
like, and it's a great single word. It's a single word impression. Would you? Sorry to put you on the spot. Is it okay to talk about? Because I really, really like it.
Yeah, just checking the paper. Yeah, I don't know. Did I say that?
Yeah,
I can't
it's
remember.
because
because the whole thing with Jules Holland. It's like he just has this sort of really. I mean, it's wonderful in a lot of ways. It's kind of crazily eclectic. You know, it'll be the manic street preacher, death threat. You know, and then like
Jules,
sag boobs.
Jules, you're not allowed to introduce James until you've cleaned your room.
No. Sounds like should add away.
I don't know why, but it tickled me so. Can you imagine him standing in his messy bedroom, still in a suit, and like, his jazz man suit is shiny? She's like, no.
Showing off in front of his band.
Stop showing off in front of your band.
You were such a good boy when your band isn't here.
Later with Jules Holland, it's just a fevered dream. It's actually like him with a little toy grand piano that he sits down at.
It's all in the head. It's all in the mind of a very drunk Sylvester McCoy. Because it seems like every Jules Holland thing, there's a smashed Sylvester McCoy, which is a very heartwarming thing because that was the Doctor Who I grew up with, and I want to see.
Quite right too.
Later with Jules Holland, it must be. Yeah, it's him and Vic Reeves usually hammered in the corner.
Oh God! Yeah. We just had a super chat from the mighty Omar Zambon, who gives £2 and simply says, "More Mike, please."
So that's nice.
Yes,
I'll
spell M-I-C.
Oh, he means microphone. Sorry, Mike.
No, more pictures of your Rode microphone
available now. The great thing about our channel is
RoboCop's dick.
I mean,
RoboCop.
Our running joke is that no one would ever sponsor this. I mean, it's like what, the Japanese bum eye demon channel. Like, no one's fucking people aren't. You're never going to see like.
There is a channel though. You know that.
They'll probably get more subscribers. You're never going to hear us going sponsored by Squarespace.
Be called Bum ITV.
The ITV.
We're not going to.
ITV's current logo looks.
We're unlikely to start any of the streams worrying people about their online privacy and the need for a VPN.
Or Raid Shadow Legends. All these things that will never.
Quite. Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God.
No.
I think when Rich does it, it sounds a bit like Jules Holland and Gollum.
Right, at the same time, yeah.
And I like that. I
have been
like
told
that.
I look like Gollum before by someone. So that's
Jules
all.
Gollum.
Jules Gollum! Precious.
You're
No.
Shire.
Just introduce people that aren't there.
House Martins.
It's always these bands that have just had their moment. Finley Quack. People, you like.
Wow, you really are going for the
It's those refs.
the young
It's those
watchers,
refs.
aren't you? Young viewers. Are
No, but
loving
that's
this.
clever though, Mike.
Anastasia.
It's clever because
Then Dizzy Pascal. Still isn't very current, but you know what I mean.
there's a certain level of people that are on Jules Holland because they have like, you know, don't get me wrong, they have like fucking Nile Rodgers and shit. They have like some amazing, but it is like things such as like James and the House Martins and like, I don't know, fucking menswear.
It looks.
or whatever.
It's usually them with someone stuck in between that, like some. What was I think when the hootenanny this year.
Oh.
There was some old woman. Well, it was great. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but she was like from the south, and it's like, Jules, do you find these people? How do you know who is that? And it's like sag-titted Sue or whatever. And it's like it was like C6 Steve, who's
Sag-titted Sue and C16. Prolapse Pete.
Any illiterate
Sag-titted Sue featuring C16.
Prolapse Pete.
That's terrible. Versus the dance off.
With the House Martins and Finley Quay.
The House Martins put some cardboard down on the floor and they'll just start jumping in.
There's something about the House Martins that's just inherently funny. Fatboy Slim was in the House Martins. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Oh no! More important than
very
that, Hans Zimmer was in the Buggles, and I'll tell people that all day long. He played the keyboard on a video called The Radio Star.
Did he write "Going for Gold"?
He did write "Going for
music
Gold," and also there was that insane Doctor Who charity single that he wrote on as well. It was.
There's two versions of "Going for Gold." The one they had, the first one he gave them was a 4-hour shepherd tone of "Going for Gold." They just kept repeating on itself and repeating. But they said they couldn't.
Yeah, we don't care that you've run the stylus of a record against a frisbee whilst hitting a cowbell and then slowed it down 400 times. It's not what we need for Going for Gold.
It needs more cowbell.
Cowbell. Got super chat for you there, Duncan.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
Benny Legend has got a great. This is a great Jules Holland band. Prefab Sprout. That's a perfect Jules Holland.
Prefab Sprout is a band.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He's saying that's exactly the kind of band that Jules Holland would introduce. Well, yes. I've failed to relay that information to you properly. Simeon Aston has given £5, and he's. I think this is for you, Duncan. Really, in the Superchatten.
Ein verletzter, Scheiße, also, it's like
deflated
German, but that's an awful thing to say. It's the deflated German as well. I cannot. It is too much. Also, it's an Alan Ford thing, so that's not appropriate. Duncan, as Alan Ford, I will not suffer the righteous indignation of today's movies. They are my nemesis. Do you know what nemesis means? Put a kettle on.
Favourite pigs, Errol.
Oh, thank you, Turkish. I'm sweet enough. There you go. There's a bit of Alan Ford. Alan Ford is a sweetheart. Have you met Alan Ford, Mike?
No, I would be very frightened if I did.
But he's not frightening, though. That's the thing. He's a sweetheart. He's the loveliest dude. I did a film with him. No, I wasn't in the film with him. I mean, I wasn't. Was it a film he was also in? But we didn't share a scene. But I met him at. We did like a kind of trailer launch press night thing, and he was there. And he's the loveliest guy, man. Like he's such a sweetheart. But he wears those glasses, those big, thick. Yeah, and he was like, "Have you met my good friend Fleur?" And I was
amazing.
Yeah, and he was just, did you train? Yes, very good. He honestly is the nicest dude. But yeah, he's. Lovely. I mean, he's in person, he deflates all that stuff, but he's incredibly intimidating, obviously.
Oh, I bet.
Scream.
Yes, it's just his voice. You could probably say anything like "ask you for a cup of tea," and I would still be frightened of him. But I love that.
Oh wait,
Give us a cup of tea, will you, Errol?
I'm gonna talk among yourselves. When we were doing the first morning of stuff for Type You Bleed, Duncan did a Alan Ford impression on camera, which I only caught the end of, annoyingly. Oh. But that's the thumbnail for that clip. And every time I go into the project to make tweaks, I get met with Duncan's like Alan Ford face, which is kind of amazing.
It's not pretty.
But it's lovely though. I'm gonna go.
You have to kind of distort your face somewhat in order to do.
I mean, you can see who you're doing. That's
one of my favorite mornings of corpsing. I seem to remember.
That was straight in with you guys. That was great.
That was all me.
That was very funny.
It was great. It meant we were off to the races. I think you two had the chemistry down. So, and to be fair, there's one take where you just did it perfectly, and I laughed and ruined the fucking take. It's like, I'm laughing at my own jokes.
I just think the chemistry that we have, Duncan, we're ready for a reboot of Cannon and Balls, The Boys in Blue.
A Cannon and Ball reference, superb.
Yeah.
That's what the kids want.
I'm down for anything with more Geary.
Well, I've got. I have someone we know has said to me, "I want to write a script for you to direct," and I won't. They probably don't want me to say publicly who it is at the moment. And I was immediately like, "Well, that's for Duncan and Mike." Yeah, I think Duncan. I told this one to you.
Nepotism.
Nepotism. But yeah, no. I think next thing I do, I would focus more. I would probably focus more on the humorous side of things. I think the film that we've made has become more humorous in the edit. I think it's lighter than what I started with, and I think that's a fundamentally very good thing.
My favourite thing, and not to give anything away, but there's this is what great actors say. Like one of the reasons why The Big Lebowski is my favourite film is not because I can objectively say it's the best film ever made or anything like that, but because of the moments caught on camera of characters or of actors sort of just living truthfully in these crazy moments. And it's like Phil Seymour Hoffman does some great, when he goes like, "Oh, different mothers," he's just like, no, like and it's things like the timing of the whole kind of, he thinks the carpet pissers did this, it's all that stuff. And Mike, you did that. There's a scene, and again, I don't want to give it away, but it's like there's just this sigh that he did.
Yeah, that's my favourite bit. Oh, it's my favourite bit. I think that the scene you're talking about is my favourite scene probably, and it's just Mike, you just do this. Duncan has to deliver a line, and it's the inherent kind of non-chemistry between your characters, and you just do this the most wounded sigh, and it's about a quarter second of performance, and it's amazing. You just sound like you've had your guts ripped out. Kind. It's so fucking good. It's so fucking good, and it's in service of.
That's nice.
It's not. It's just a sigh. It's because you go, yeah.
It's just, yeah. You go, yeah. And it's just like it's watching that whole sequence of the film is Duncan's character making bits of your character die. It's brilliant. It's so good.
I will say also that my blood sugar was quite low at that point, so that might have had something to do with it.
Right. It's before the souvlaki turned up.
For the souvlaki. Love that souvlaki.
Really good, man. If you ever back up this way, we'll get some more souvlaki. It's good
I enjoyed that. But it was great. I really enjoyed. I can't believe we did that in a day.
Your bits, yeah.
Most bits were in a day. It was great, and it was a lot of fun. I should have planned
it better.
No, I had an absolutely brilliant time. I loved it. It was
fun. We had a fun time making it. I think that fundamentally we worked. So, luckily, not everybody had to have the horrifically long day. So I know, obviously, Mike, on your day, you did the full 16 hours. Duncan did the full 16 hours. I did the full 16 hours. Simon and Liz did.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were in there solid, and what was lovely was it was just a lovely set to be on, and that's the nice thing. If someone knows how to run a lovely set, then it's a joy. It's like working with Pricey, he knows how to run a lovely set, and it's the same thing, and I love that. I do, sincerely. And that location,
it's amazing.
The centre of computer history. as soon as I walked in, you saw my nerd horns just went to full tumescence. And
well, that's so we turned up to location, and Jason, the boss man there, you were sat outside already talking to him about kind of computer stuff, and that's all very much my domain. So I kind of knew you got it, and on that level, when you and Jason were already talking about it. Duncan doesn't know.
Something about Quatlus or whatever.
Quatlus? Isn't he the guy they're after in Total Recall? Isn't that? Oh, that's Quarto, yeah.
I do need to. Sorry,
Quatlus is a Star Trek thing. I want to say.
No.
Mark Price will tell us.
No. There's no nice way to say it, but no.
I'm the captain of the SS Quatlu.
I'm John Quatlu.
That would be our ship, the Quatlu. So what the fuck is that? Well, that's the one that empties out the toilets.
Right, the poo shunting one.
Yeah. It was called the Squatloo, but the S fell off.
Well, I had an idea ages ago for a Star Trek show called Star Trek Arbitration, and it would be about the Human Resources Department of the Federation, and it'd be things like
Richard Gere. It's a courtroom Star Trek.
Oh no, it's way more mundane than that. It's like, for example, you go to them because you've been accidentally cloned in a transporter accident, and then there's do you get half as much holiday days in lieu? Or do you both get them? Do you share them? Like, all of these high concept sci-fi things have to have a really mundane resolution at some point, and that's where Star Trek flexi time, exactly. That's where Star Trek Arbitration comes in. Like, if you give birth to an alien parasite, do you get paternity leave? Stuff like that. It's all those. Sam Montgomery, bless him, put in a super chat a little while ago, and I need to read it out. £5 from Sam. Thank you very much, Sam. I don't normally ask for something like this, but is there any chance we could do a 2003 watch party since I've just had my 18th? Would mean a bit. Sam's only 18, bless him. He's been watching for years. It's all downhill from here.
You have to look forward to.
Life gets better than this. I promise.
I swear.
Get an education.
Well, I think Sam was talking about going off and doing film studies. Was his thing.
Become an actor, not because you won't make it. We just don't want the competition.
It's dog eat dog, motherfucker.
I'll go for the same things as someone who's 30 years younger than me.
Well, what
if I shave this beard, I look like Yoda.
and Jules, Gollum, and Yoda teaming up at last.
Jules, Gollum, that's great.
What movies?
Mark Price has said Quatlus is from Futurama.
Oh, there you go, Duncan. You're in the right.
Oh, okay.
Movies that come out in 2003. Paycheck.
Now I'm dead. I'll be whatever I want to do.
Well, there you go. 2003, we could watch Too Fast, Too Furious.
Oh.
And Scary Movie 3. Freddy vs. Jason, Sam, which we already did. Pirates of the Caribbean.
There you go.
There you go. But congratulations on being nearly 18, Sam. Bless you.
Yeah, congratulations.
You're a young sprog starting out. That's the most patronising thing I possibly could have said. But
For those of you who don't know, patronising means talking down to you.
Hey, nice.
Thank you very much.
And it also means frequenting.
Yes, weirdly, it means frequenting an establishment. Which is...
Oh, good. It's very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
I'm gonna.
Knowledge.
I think it's time to wrap. Time to wrap up. Time to.
No.
Oh, yes. Not in front of the house, Martin's mother.
Stop showing off in front of Prefab Sprout.
No.
Trying it back.
Nice, clever. That's good. All the way around.
Bringing it back around.
Clever. And that's called a reach around, isn't it?
In comedy, we call it a reach around. Acting. Rada.
Central.
Reach around. Sir Kenneth Branagh.
Peter O'Toole.
Peter's old tool.
Oh, Peter O'Toole.
Okay, I'm gonna let's duck out. Mike, it's been a total pleasure, man. It's been really awesome having you on, and I think everybody in the chat fucking agrees.
That's very kind. You all have fabulously low standards. Thank you so much.
That's the slogan of this channel. Actually,
look, they have to work. Like the Doctor in Batman. To work.
No, thank you very, very much. I've loved it being on with you guys and all of your amazing viewers. So yes, hopefully we would
love to have you back. So all right.
Yes.
Any final words?
Rada! Shitting through your eye hole.
Derek Jacobi.
Jules Gollum.
Jules got precious house martins. Okay. Here come the credits.
Here
Here come the credits. Bye.